You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks! Welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, Thursday Night Live call-in show. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Wayne.
And we are a podcast about
how
we game. And Thursday nights is all about how you game, because it's our call-in show night. On Thursday nights, we talk to you about what you've been up to gaming-wise. Last week, we broke some records. Amazingly broke some records. Last week, we had the most callers that we can remember. I don't ever recall going double digits.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Not only did we go double digits, we went international last week.
Not
it
once,
was so cool.
Twice.
Yeah.
Twice. And if Pablo comes through, that could be thrice. International callers, we had Israel and Netherlands. It was Netherlands. Nick from the Netherlands, who's also already in the chat, pushing us to 11. He's like, hey, guys, this one goes to 11. So we're hoping it does take this to 11. So what are we? What do we do? We're a board game podcast. On Thursday nights, we record our phone calls with you. We talk to you about what you got going on gaming-wise. We give you our twig. That's our This Week in Gaming, where we talk about gaming topics that are on our mind, things that we've done this week in gaming. We give you any news articles that are interest to us that we want to discuss or comment on. And then we go into some OGG, some other geeky goodness, where we get to talk about the other hobbies in our nerdy, geeky lives that we want to share with y'all, and hopefully y'all share with us. But our biggest hope is that we get to none of that, because I think Wayne and I got to practically none of that last week, or Rob and I got to practically none of that last week when we took 10 calls, because it was just back-to-back calls the whole day.
Yep, good stuff. Kept us busy.
Yeah, definitely.
So on that note, gentlemen, just to get it started, I think we should open up that phone line early and often. I'm going to turn off the Do Not Disturb. Phone line is open. 813-618-7099 is the number. Call in, talk to us. The show is yours for 10 minutes.
Oh, somebody getting a call.
All right, let me push some buttons here and make sure I don't mess this up. First call of the night. Let's see. Beans and Dice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hello, it's Nick from the Netherlands again.
Oh, we're international again, boys. And we got a caller on the back line there. Mitchell's trying to get in too. So we got two callers. Nick, show is yours for 10 minutes. What's going on?
10 whole minutes. Good. Well, my sleep schedule is messed up because of work now, so I was awake this time intentionally.
Got you all messed up.
But yeah. No, I noticed the past few days that I've been really busy at work, and I've noticed that when I'm busy at work and not playing video games or board games, I'm buying board games. So now it's a period of not playing any games, just buying board games and not getting any plays in. And I hope soon I'll get to the plays again, but
Listen, buying board games, I think, is fine. The gentlemen that are with me here today would disagree.
No,
you can buy games. We
we both got good
games.
collections, just maybe not collections your size.
Yeah, somebody asked me how many games I have, and I really don't know. I stopped counting because I don't want to know.
Probably in the 600 range.
What's your most recent purchase, Nick? Talk to us about your twigs, your hauls.
Probably gonna be some game found like the Old King's Crown.
Oh.
Particular. I all backed those in the same week, so.
You backed the new Agricola? Is that the zombie one?
No, the old one. It was a late pledge.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you picked up the original.
And did I hear Brass Pittsburgh in there?
Yes.
Nice.
I played Birmingham a few times, liked it so far. It seems interesting. So want to try it out.
I don't think you're going to be disappointed with Pittsburgh.
It sounds really good so far.
It took everything I had not to back it. I think it was BG Potato, it might have been, in our Discord, and he put it in the, well, I still don't know I don't know what BG Potato is. BG Potato put in the Discord waiting for retail. And when they said that, I was like, you know what? I should be smart and do that too. I did that with Brass Birmingham, and I have not been disappointed. I spent as little as possible to buy it, and I've enjoyed it every minute of it, and I've been fine with it.
Understandable. The game is way overpriced anyway. What you're getting, I think.
Hey, last week we had
so it doesn't matter.
We had a caller from Israel, and he gave us some insight on what the board gamer life is like overseas in Israel. How is it in the Netherlands where you are? Like, what's the gaming world like where you are on your side of the world?
I feel like it's been the same to you. Prices are comparable. Shipping is usually a little bit bigger on Kickstarters, but not so much. We have got good gaming stores. I do feel like the community is a little smaller, and the second-hand market is also smaller because a lot of copies are sold in Dutch or in English, and people sometimes want the other one and not the other one, so it's a little hard to find the copy you want.
And do you find it's easier? Like, are English versions of games more prevalent than the Dutch versions?
I would say both are pretty prevalent. Usually within a year, you have a Dutch copy of the newest, hottest games. I think because we're next to Germany, it's usually easily translatable, and Germany is, of course, big in the gaming space. But I just prefer English copies because, well, almost all of the Netherlands can speak English very well, and I play with a lot of. I play sometimes with asylum seekers, so they don't know Dutch very well, but they do know English, so then it's nice to have English copies.
Nice. And you said there are game stores. What are the game stores like there? Are they like, so the game stores here typically have a small retail area, usually a lot of Magic the Gathering and cards, and then a small selection of board games, and then usually a big gaming area where there'll be tournaments for Magic, and then there's kind of open play. Is it kind of similar layout, or do you have a lot of board game cafes? What is that like?
On the board game stores I've been to, none of them have had any play area, just buy games. And I feel like the Magic and Pokemon is like only at the counter a little bit, but not very prevalent in the store.
Interesting.
That's
good.
I think some board game stores do incorporate bookstores, board game and books, but usually it's just board game.
Where do y'all play as a community? Like, where do y'all get together and play?
So I haven't found a really nice community spot yet. I usually just play with friends at one of our locations. I feel like the community is lacking compared to the USA. It's just harder. But there's also, like, because of my work, I have very unpredictable work times, so it's not easy for me to get on a regular basis to any sort of community event.
Copy that.
Makes sense.
That's interesting. All right. Thank you for answering that. I was really curious.
It is pretty interesting because I got like going to Japan. Most of the game stores in Japan seem to have a small play area, but mostly retail. In the UK, when I went to London and Liverpool, the game stores had like massive areas for gaming, kind of like American stores, and it was mostly like Warhammer stuff, right? And then board games, and then it's interesting to see like not a big Magic, the Gathering kind of thing. That's kind of like what saves game stores here in the United States is just the amount of people that go there to buy Magic cards and Magic tournaments and those kind of things. That's like their biggest cash cow. So it's interesting to see the differences.
Yeah, I mean, gotta make a living, so why not?
Now, when I struggle to get games to the table, kind of like how you described, you're in that phase of gaming where you're acquiring more than you're playing. Yeah. I like to prepare and prep for that next game that I really want to get to the table. Is there one on your mind right now that you're going through, understanding, learning the game so that you're ready to play? Like, what's your next game you're going to table?
I really want to table Puerto Rico, but I've already played it once at a gaming event, but I really want to play it with my real friend. And I really want to get Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era to the table, but solo.
Yeah.
But I need to have the time to set it up for multiple days, and didn't find it yet. So, in the back of my mind, can I have 3 days of on it on the table without it interrupting me? But I didn't get the chance yet.
I'd really like to play that Elder Scrolls. I've dabbled in Too Many Bones, but I haven't played a whole scenario or campaign of that yet. But I hear the Elder Scrolls is off of that system, but it's very cool, and obviously the setting and the theme for it is really interesting to me.
It really spoke to me as well. Not because of the team necessarily, but just because of the mechanics.
Sure.
And I thought it's a chip theory game, so if it doesn't work out for me, I won't get the value back again.
Sure, absolutely. Yep, those games hold their value.
I unfortunately made some mistakes in my game found and apparently did not get my Puerto Rico sent out in time. I will be one of the last in the U.S. to get their copy. They told me, I think sometime in August, they said, because I didn't realize when I paid, I had to push a button to finish. I didn't know. I thought when they took my money, we were all good for shipping, but apparently there's a button I had to push. But that new Puerto Rico looks just fantastic. I hope we didn't lose our caller. Hope we didn't lose me.
Oh, you gotcha.
I got you. I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Think we might have lost Nick.
Might have lost him. I heard a little static there really briefly, and he may have fuzzed out.
Nick, you still with us? I think we lost our first caller.
It's okay.
We went international, boys. We did it.
Like it.
Thank you, cool. Nick, for the call. Sorry for the disconnect.
Yeah, I think it's really cool though when you see and learn about the gaming culture in other countries and sort of the differences. Like so the game stores there tend to be like board games and books and not really gaming areas. Whereas like it seems like the United States and the UK probably more towards 50-50 or bigger gameplay areas. It's kind of interesting. I
can't imagine having just a retail space, no place to play. That just doesn't compute.
There was a guy, I remember DragonCon years ago, there was a guy who actually had like a seminar on owning a game store, and he owned like 4 or 5 game stores in like the Midwest. And he was very much against like gaming space. He's like, gaming space is just retail space that you can't you're giving up retail space for no reason. He's like, get people in, they're going to come buy what they need to buy and then go play elsewhere, have it mostly retail other than a small section for Magic tournaments. And then that's it. He's like, your store should be 90, and I mean, granted, this was 15 years ago or more when I remember that seminar, but he was pretty adamant. He's like, do not spend more than 50% of your retail space for just tables that don't make you money. Like,
I don't know. Those card players make you money. Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Mitchell from Japan, just because I want to one-up Nick and call more internationally.
Nice. We'll take it.
Yeah. Hey, if Nick calls back and beeps in, hang up on me, Carlos. I don't want to step on his toes. But also, if you're going to beat your record, I didn't want there to be too much dead air. So I gave him a minute, and then I called. But if he calls back, hang up on me. I'll call back.
Well, thank you, Louisiana, for jumping in. Much appreciated.
No, he's from Japan.
You guys doing all right?
Oh, man, I had a great time listening to your, I don't even know how to pronounce it, episode of the Board Game Gumbo.
Lanyap.
What does that even mean?
It just means a little something extra. Yeah, hey, Rob knows.
Yeah, it's the hidden thing. When you buy something and you think you're getting one thing, but there's a little bonus something in there.
Like you might go to a donut store here in Louisiana and order a couple, a dozen donuts, and they'll give you a little lanyap bag with some donut holes and little treats in it sometimes. It's just a little something extra.
That's what I loved about being in Louisiana. Everybody was so nice. That never happens to me at Taco Bell. And I might get lucky at McDonald's and get like an extra nugget, but that was an accident.
It's kind of like when you go buy bagels in New York, you buy a dozen bagels, they always give you 13. They always give you the baker's dozen.
There you go. Something like that. But I think we're probably nicer than the people in New York.
No, New York people are really nice.
But it was a great episode listening on Board Game Gumbo. If you're not following them, make sure you follow them. BJ and Mitch on that extra episode that they did went through a full breakdown of the recent board game fest, the Southern Board Game Fest.
Sobo.
And it was just great to hear how it went down. I was totally surprised as to how much gaming you did. I think BJ was surprised as to how much gaming you did.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you shouting it out, and we mentioned it on the podcast. We appreciate you guys' support. Rob coming down, and Carlos, you making that trophy for the unmatched tourney. So, Beansanddice was well represented at the con as well. We appreciate you guys.
Ooh.
Well, show's yours for 10 minutes. What you got?
Well, I'm in a little bit of a predicament. Carlos, no stranger to spending way more money than you should in relation to board gaming.
I feel personally attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of accidentally fell into going into 2 big gaming conventions this summer, and I was dragging my feet because I was like, I don't know if I can afford this after going to Greece, but I bit the bullet this week, and I got the flights, hotels, and badges for both Origins and Dice Tower East.
Nice.
Wow, wifey approved all that?
So, okay, it's a long story. Whenever I had
you have 8 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make it short. Whenever I decided a few months ago I wanted to come back to Dice Tower East, I missed you guys. I pitched it as a family trip because they have that awesome pool at the Creve, all that, and so that was the plan. We hadn't booked it yet because we were waiting on Greece to see how the pocketbook was. And while after Greece, we were kind of recovering from the fallout of going bankrupt from spending all those euros. I saw on I think it was the Tabletop Gaming Jobs Facebook group that there was some publisher that was looking for a booth worker, and they would comp your room and give you a game and get you a badge and then even pay you a little bit of money to get your flight there. So I was like, hey man, it's practically free, but I didn't want to go by myself. So I asked around, I got some guys that were down to go. And then the more we thought about it, I was like, man, do we want to go all this way? And then like half our con, we're not going to get to play. So we decided, okay, I don't know if we want to work it. I think we're just going to go to the con.
Is this Origins or Dice Tower East you're talking about?
Oh, sorry, Origins. Yeah.
Origins, okay.
For Origins. I've been wanting to go to Origins, and it just never worked out with my buddies who wanted to come with me. I didn't want to go alone, and I finally had someone that was willing to go, and so we decided we were going to bite the bullet and just pay for it and go. And I was like, man, I already promised the family this vacation in Florida for Dice Tower East. So I was like, hey, now I get to go to another one. But then my daughter, she ended up booking the summer camp in Texas, and she's going to be in a show here in town. And we were like, I don't know if you should miss 2 weeks. So we weren't sure if Dice Tower was going to work out. So maybe I was going to go solo, but we got it all worked out. So I'm going to be there at Dice Tower, and I'll be at Origins just a couple weeks before. So hopefully I'll be getting in a lot of games this summer, and I'll be seeing you guys for a week as well.
Yeah,
sweet.
So what family is coming to Dice Tower now?
So my wife and my son, they're coming. My daughter is not. She's going to stay home with my parents because she doesn't want to miss too much rehearsal for her show.
And how old's your boy?
He's 11, probably around the same age as you.
Yeah, so my kid's 12, and Nick's kids are like 13 and 14. So, and I think Nick.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna end up getting a badge. Or are y'all gonna have badges?
Yeah. My wife and kid will have a badge.
Sweet. Yeah.
And honestly, the all of the dexterity, the 50 million dexterity games they have keep the kids busy most of the day. And then the kids pitch card tournament is a lot of fun, and yeah, it'd be good. So.
Awesome. I'm glad to know that y'all fams are going to be there. 'Cause my son's not a huge board gamer. We'll play, every now and then. But I think, just the experience and the novelty of it, he's looking forward to coming. At first, he was just going to, chill by the pool. They might go to Disney one day, which they may still do that. But he said he does want to get a badge and check it out at least part of the week.
Yeah. And honestly, like a lot of the dexterity games are in the hallway. So I've seen some kids kind of just using them like certain times of the day, and they don't really, police it as well, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, I mean, Wayne, you're talking to the guy that was at the con for like
6
hours
like
last year. Yeah, I think that was the most games I've ever gotten in such a short amount of time. We were banging them out before I had to run out of there, but I appreciated that with you guys.
I like it because I love to get in. I mean, I'm averaging, I think most of my dice, I get 40, 50, 60 games in that con. I mean, it's 10 or 15 party games, fast, type things. But I'm happy to have a guy that likes to crank through some games. So there'll be some time for that, I'm sure.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little confused by Origins. None of you guys have been to Origins,
huh? No. No. Gen Con, Gamma, not Origins. Origins is the only one I haven't been to.
Origins is Gamma. Gamma is the one who runs Origins.
But so the Gamma Expo. Like I went as my buddy owned a game store, and we went to Gamma when it was in Vegas years ago.
Okay, gotcha. Well, the reason I'm confused, I'm looking at the event schedule. I've been to Gen Con as well, and I know there are other events at Gen Con, but the primary focus seems to mostly be, tabletop board gaming. But at Origins, man, it seems like there's a big influence on TTRPGs and even
even Gen Con too. The TTRPGs is massive at Gen Con. It's probably, I would say that the role playing games at Gen Con is bigger than board games. It's just that we're in the board game space, so we hear about that part of it more. But I've done both at Gen Con, and they're massive.
But there's just a ton of events at Origins. There's these big mega games. There are like live action role playing, not just like sword fighting, but like games where you have missions you have to run out of the convention center. There's comedy shows and magic shows and concerts and escape rooms and puzzle competitions. There's so much more than board gaming there. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. Like, I'm used to going to conventions and just gaming nonstop, but I feel like I'm going to be tempted to try some of these other things.
Yeah, you're not going to get as much gaming at Origins as you think.
Yeah, which I guess I'll survive because I have Dice Tower East to look forward to after that.
That's what it is. Like for me, Dice Tower and the local Necronomicon, your Sobo, that's gaming, right? Dragon Con, Gen Con, Origins for me, or Gen Con and Dragon Con for me would be a little bit of board gaming, but mostly other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if it's maybe the year I went to Gen Con, it was shortly after COVID, so it wasn't like really 100% back. Maybe that's why I was able to game more when I went to Gen Con. But yeah, I think it'll be a unique experience. But I'm looking forward to it.
At Origins, you'll get a lot of demos. There'll be a lot of demos of games that are coming out in the next few times. So that'd be pretty cool to hear back as to all the.
I'm excited for that. And my buddy that's coming with me, his first convention ever was Sobo this year. So he's going from Sobo, a little 200-300 person convention, to Origins. I think his mind might be blown a little bit.
Yeah, like 30,000, I think, Origins sometimes in that range.
Yeah, pretty big. Yeah. But I'm coming up on my 10-minute mark. I just wanted to check in and be a notch in your bedpost for your callers tonight.
What a lovely way to put it.
You can be a notch in my bedpost anytime, Mitch.
Yeah, Fallout Boy. I was thinking.
Does not help me want to share a room with you though. Like,
always great to hear from you, brother.
Yeah, you guys as well. Have a good show. I'll be in the chat group.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks for calling, Mitchell.
Later.
Now we just gotta harass BJ because he said he might come back to Dice Tower East this year. I think he said he might. So
can he hang that late though? It's getting old,
We'll make him. That's right. He can join me at 6 a.m. in game early.
Go. I'll be sleeping. Sleep and eating is very important to me during cons. I do not get as many games as you guys do.
Wrong. All about the games.
All right, let's get into some Twig while we wait for the next caller. Twig is our This Week in Gaming. This is where we talk about games we've been playing. This Week in Gaming, I'll lead us off on this one.
Go for it.
For me, let me change the banner, put the phone line. Phone line's back up, folks. 813-618-7099 is the number. Phone line is open. For me, This Week in Gaming has been the big one, Endeavor Deep Sea. 3 plays in less than 12 hours.
Damn.
So
Solo?
No. Wifey and I played one, so I got the teacher. And that was probably 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So we played, till about a little bit after midnight, which, makes sense. This game, I can't seem to get it down under 2 hours. And then...
But even at 2 players?
Still 2 hours? It was 2 players cooperative. It was still 2 hours, but it was also a teach.
And a teach, yeah.
But man, the cooperative mode and the solo mode... Brutal, just hard to beat. And that's part of why I played it back to back so fast while it was set up, while I had it there. I'm researching strategy. Endeavor Deep Sea is a reiteration of Endeavor Age of Sail. In this game, would you call it worker placement? I don't know if I'd...
Area
those
control,
little discs.
Right? It's kind of area control, right?
Yeah, there's this area control component to it. There's a worker placement thing, action selection thing that you've got going where you're building an engine and improving on your tableau in front of you to allow you to do more things. But at the end of the day, the main part of it is Rob's favorite thing. Sit down, Rob. Don't get too excited. It is tracks. It's all about increasing those tracks. The tough part, Rob, is in the co-op in the solo game. So wifey and I played co-op and then I played solo. The tracks really aren't where your points come from. The tracks will not determine whether you win or not.
That's disappointing.
It is because, I work so hard to get my tracks up to a certain point level, but they're not included in the game for winning criteria. Winning criteria are goals. So the goals in the game, meaning each game has a scenario. The scenario has a goal. For example, in scenario 2, it's all about spreading out and exploring. You want to get so many discs in columns B and C, right? So you need to get away from column A where you started and kind of start exploring to the right. Then the next goal is getting a number of discs in depths 2, 3, and 4. So you want to go for depth there. And then finally, I think the last goal has to do with the far column on the far right, the far 2 columns on the right, getting more disc in those zones. So it's making you spread out. So it kind of gives you an objective. But then in the co-op game, you're going to add goals on top of that, right? So normally in the basic game, there are 3 goals that all players are competing for. In the co-op game, you're going to flop out 3 cards. They're going to give you 3 different goals. As an example, one of them might be get these tracks to the highest level. Another one might be have disc in the same zone as your cooperative play partner. So like you want to have activities called synergy, activity in the same zone. A zone is one of the tiles of the ocean. So it makes you want to work together. Like, okay, I'll grab that marker. You bring a vessel over there, and you also put a marker, and that counts towards the goal. If you can get a completion, if you can complete 4 goals, that's a beginner victory. 5 goals is intermediate, 6 is hard, and 7, which is all the goals that will be available, is legendary. I cannot get the 4th goal. No matter how hard I try, I cannot get the 4th goal. I really want to play it with you guys because I want to see how much work as a team do we have to do to synergize, work together to make sure we hit those goals. It's a very good puzzle. And if you love Endeavor's system, its game system, that puzzle piece of trying to figure out how to meet those goals is just so good. You got to meet it in 6 rounds. You got 6 rounds total, Rob. That's it to make it happen. Really cool. Endeavor, Deep Sea.
Yeah, I'd like
Thank
to try
you, Aaron.
With gamers, like you said, try it maybe with the 3 of us, or a couple, 3, 4 gamers, and try to see what groupthink working together would do. I got to ask you though. So you taught it to Melissa with the co-op version. Do you think that was the greatest idea? I'm curious because I would tend to think that teaching the competitive version so that people can kind of take it at their own speed, they can dabble in all the different areas if they want. Like you said, teaching the co-op version seems to be very guided and kind of pushes you to do certain things. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
So thoughts were this, and Aaron is in the chat saying he thinks it's at 2 players with no teach, get it under 2 hours. So good though. Who cares?
Right.
Play it. Yep. Play it for as long as you can. Here's the reason I went co-op, because that was a dilemma, Rob, in my head. Like, how do I teach this to wifey? Mm-hmm. And what I found was most of the reviews that I can go to on the BGG site were saying this game is excellent as a co-op. It feels as though it was built as a co-op and like they added, this is what people are saying on BGG, that it feels like the competitive play was the addition to the game, the extra variant where it feels like the game was truly built for co-op. So I wanted to give that a try.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
But you're right. She didn't get to dabble in all the different aspects because we were very focused on trying to meet those goals.
And having dabbled first, playing the competitive version, when you go back to play a cooperative, you kind of know maybe some of the synergies and some of the ways that, like, I wonder if having played it competitively a few times might help with the co-op.
That was my thought, my initial thought, but yeah.
Nick is in the chat. He's asking, what player count do you like it best so far? My answer is going to be 3 players. And that's just because of the length of the game.
Yeah.
It's really a quick, snappy game when it comes to turns because everybody's only putting 1 disc down, taking 1 action. So it kind of snaps to the next player's turn pretty quick. But the overall length is still extended when you add that 4th player to where the game just doesn't hit as nice if I can keep it in that 2 hour, under 3 hour range.
That's what you're saying. I'm trying to remember. So I've only played this, I think, once. And then Age of Sail, I want to say, like, is Age of Sail similar? Is Age of Sail where, like, no, you want to play with 4 so you have more people going for the different
Age of
hard.
Sail's got the 2-sided board, so I mean, it definitely
That's
scales.
true. It scales, yeah.
But it's still not good at 2. Like cooperative at 2 was great
Age
for
of Sail
Wifey
or
and I.
Age of Sail or
Endeavor Deep Sea.
Deep Sea, yeah.
Age of Sail, Robert and I will say it's good. It's like having a good meal, but it's not like the best meal you had. It's still a good meal. You'll still eat it, but it's still not.
At 2, you mean?
Because of the area control is such a bigger factor.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think
Age of Sail.
3 and 4, probably 3 and 4,
5.
It
does play 5? I can't remember. Yeah,
I think it does.
I think it
because
does.
It
definitely 4. I think I like Age of Sail at 4, and this is probably at 3.
What I miss about the Age of Sail, Rob, tell me if you feel this way too, is the race to unlock the governor tile of each different region.
Yep, those are cool.
And the timing of that.
Yep, exactly. Yep, that's again, that's why I keep, I'm putting them both, rolling them into my Hall of Fame as one title. I think is what I'll officially do. I don't know what we need to do to make that official, but write it on the board. But I like them both, but they are definitely different games, and they definitely do have different feels. They're built on the same bones. There's some of the same kind of turn structure stuff that you're doing to some extent. But I like them both. But I still love Age of Sail. For it feels more competitive. I don't know. Age of Sail, the whole game, I'm trying to think about ways to take territory, to stop you from doing things, to advance my own agenda. In Deep Sea, I feel a little bit more like of the dabbling. I do a little bit of this, I do a little bit of that. Maybe you're where I want to be. I'll just wait a turn or two. You'll get out of the way. I'll get over there, get what I need. So I don't definitely different feels.
Yeah. Age of Sail does play 2 to 5, and BGG says best at 4. So I was right in my thinking. I think 4 is the sweet spot, and it has a 60 to 90 minute play time, whereas Endeavor has a 60 to 120 play time, best at 3. So I think depending on your game group, and also one's better at 3, one's better at 4, one's a little longer, even at a shorter game size, and one is Age of Sail like Pirates and that, and the other one is the Deep Sea, obviously, the sea life and that kind of stuff. So it really depends on. I think both games are great, but
I agree.
It's interesting because Endeavor is best at 3 based on the community.
Yeah.
So you can see they want lower player count. Pablo had a question in there. But I love what Nick responded with on that, which was, "Hey Pablo, you can get your answer if you call in."
Thanks, Nick.
he understands the assignment.
I really need to play Deep Sea again because I really like Age of Sail, and after one play of Deep Sea, I was like, I really like this game. It's really good, and it's a great reimagining of the game. But I think I prefer Age of Sail better still.
I don't know. I'm still torn, and it goes to Pablo's question, which we will go ahead and answer, even if he doesn't call. Is there positive or negative interaction in the competitive mode of Deep Sea? The answer is positive. And the reason I say that is each of the zones has the spaces just like you would in Age of Sail. But in Age of Sail, and what I mean by spaces is connections. If you can fill 2 discs, there's something usually in the middle, like a little bonus or something you get. In Age of Sail, you only get that if you're controlling both sides of that, right? In Deep Sea, both players can get it. It reminds me of Ezra and Nehemiah, as our friend Musar says. In Ezra and Nehemiah,
good try.
It's horrible. When you build a gate and you connect 2 different gates, both players who were involved with building the wall that connects the 2 gates get the benefits of that gate. And it's kind of like that in Deep Sea. If I fill a disc and it's got a connection to another disc with a bonus, I put one disc down, Rob puts the other disc down, we both get the benefits. So there's positive interaction. Rob, did you ever feel anything in there that felt like it was a negative, like we were, like really going at it, or was it just mostly positive vibes?
It's been a little while since I've played, but it seems like there were certain areas for completing an area. You got something, and so there was a little bit of a race. Am I remembering that correctly? Some of the sonar spots or something.
Well, everything gave you something. Like everywhere you go gave you something good.
Yeah.
But I don't recall there being anything that said if you're the majority there, you get a bonus, or if you have the most of. So I think the race comes down to you're trying to eat up all the spots where your vessel are, so you don't have to move, which takes up actions. So there's that kind of race to I'm here. Let me sonar every sonar I can get before somebody else shows up, so I can get all the benefits of laying out a new tile. Like every time you do something in Deep Sea, you get something. Oh, look, I discovered a new zone. I'm not there. I haven't moved my vessel there, but I just discovered it. You get some track bonuses, right? Oh, when I do move my vessel there, you get an arrival bonus. So just moving my thing gets me an arrival bonus. And Rob, that was something that I figured out in Deep Sea this time that I didn't grok before. Just moving your vessel is like a rondelle. Like if I move it in this order and hit these spots, I'm going to increase these tracks, and then I can do this thing. So, man, just Endeavor Deep Sea, great game. I want to thank Aaron from Columbus, Ohio. He's brought up the game twice, I think, in the last time said he's called, and it got me to itch to play that game, and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah, both really good games. If I had to pick, I think I'd still be Age of Sail just because I played it more, and it's kind of a classic for me now. But I like them both.
It's making me really want to break out Age of Sail. Like, I haven't played that in like a minute. So I think Pablo's saying, he's like, "Ooh, my game prefers more." Carlos. Oh, go ahead.
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Joey from Colorado.
Joey.
Hey, Joey. How's it going?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We are great. This is caller number 3. We're just in the we're still at the bottom of the hour, bottom of the first hour, and we're already in caller number 3. Thank you so much for calling. For the next 10 minutes, the show is yours. Where are you taking us?
Ooh, 10 minutes. Well, I was trying to call before the family gets back from Taekwondo, so and they should be getting back any minute. So we'll see how far I get going. 2 things. Well, maybe 3 things. One, I told you last week that I got my, whatever most expensive game that I had ever purchased. That was Bruges. But I also got with it Bottle Imp, which is another trick taker that happened to be one that sort of rounded out. It was one of the ones that I was still seeking out as far as games go that I didn't already have. I don't have a large collection, but
nice.
My question was going to be, how are any of you guys there where you think there's not too much more that I'm looking to purchase, I just want to play now? And or how many times has that happened to you where you thought, oh yeah, I think my collection might be complete, and then 5 months later you're like, oh, I just bought 20 games.
I'm at the point where it's games in, games out.
I think I'm more of the latter on that question instead of the former. I just said that earlier this year. I think I'm at a good place. I think this will be the year that I don't buy anything.
And you bought a ton of games.
And not just that, like Layers came out from Wayne's favorite board game company, KTBG, Kids Table Board Games, right?
Yep,
Kitchen Table Board Games.
Yeah. Kids Table Board Games.
Yes, they came out with Layers, and I'm like, oh gosh, that looks so cool. And then Dice Tower just did a review again of Ace of Spades, the solo poker style game, and I'm like, oh, there's another one. So I am definitely the latter on that. I think I'm good, and then some stuff comes out that feels like it's right in my wheelhouse.
And here's where I'm the opposite. Like I'm at the point now, like I posted a bunch of games at the Dice Tower flea market. I've already sold like 3. And every day I go in and I check all the new postings, and I haven't found one game yet where I'm like buying that. There is one, I say in my twig, there is a game that I will buy. That'll be a game I buy, but it's going to be a 1 in, 1 out thing at this point.
And I'm getting close to where Wayne is. Oh, I'm sorry. Just I'm getting close to where Wayne is. I'm not quite to the 1 in, 1 out. I said I was getting there, and I think I am getting there. I'm getting to right about 200 games in my collection, and I'm starting to feel like I've got all the different types of games now that I want. And then there are games in my collection that I definitely see are like, oh, well, I just have it just because I have it, and I probably am ever going to play that again or whatever. And so I'm just getting to that point where I think, as I start acquiring from here forward, I'm going to try to get rid of some of that old stuff, but it's tough.
Like upgrading, like getting rid of an old game that's a certain style game and buying a better version of that style is kind of where I'm at. Like, okay, I can get rid of Kingdom Builder and I'm going to get X game that's going to replace it.
I'm going to say it's tough, like Carlos said, because it's just all that shiny new. Every time I get to feeling like, all right, I'm good. And then I see a Kickstarter or something. I'm like, oh, man, that looks so good. So luckily, I've not been tempted by the crowdfunding. Only once. Frosthaven is still my only crowdfunded game ever that I've gotten into, but and it's because I had played through
I'm like
Gloomhaven.
you. I did not have the Kickstarter bug for whatever reason, that it's either a high entry point, cost wise, or to me, there's so many games out there that either already exist, or by the time, I don't know, you buy it now, you might see it in a year and a half. You might never see it.
Yeah.
And it's just, I might not live at the same address. I might not care for that type of game anymore. I don't know. It hasn't rung my bell. So
there's so many great games out there. It's just not worth the risk. Even if it's a small risk, it's not worth the risk to me.
Yeah. And another offshoot of the purchasing, upgrading a game or whatever, you might not buy, let's say you don't buy 100 more games, but you might start seeking out expansions, so
that's where I've changed. I've definitely grown. The expansion bug is not biting me like it used to. I've gotten really, really picky on buying expansions. An example that disproves that is Heat. So like Heat, I'm buying everything that comes out because it's just more tracks, different color cars, and just some more cards added to the deck. But if it's an expansion that like changes the way the game plays, I've been really staying away from those.
Well, you sort of contradict yourself there too, because Heat is that. It adds these new mechanisms into it.
But not in that sense, Joey.
Sort of pushed me off of seeking that one out. Go ahead, yeah.
I don't agree exactly, because the track has a mechanism. I might just be
talking out my butt.
Well, it's the track that adds the mechanism. So if I choose to play in Japan, then I'm dealing with the water on the corners. If I choose to play in the Netherlands, then I'm going through the tunnels and not able to discard cards.
Well, why would you buy it if you don't choose to play it? I don't know. I don't understand what you're saying. It doesn't make sense to me.
Like, why would you buy the track and never play it? You just want the cars.
The cards come with new symbols. But I wouldn't call that a change of how the game plays. It's a different bonus.
Yeah.
It's a different style of bonus.
I could be convinced because, like I said, I haven't played it. So you've got more knowledge in it than I have. But I started looking at that one after I was watching the World Series of Board Game, and I was like, maybe I would like to play, that racing game. And I started looking at it, and it was like already had 2 expansions that added some new tracks along with some new mechanisms. And then there was a third one coming out, and I was like, oof. It's a weird psychological thing where
just play it on BGA and you're done.
Maybe I like BGA, but that's a game where I think those tracks look so neat. I think I'd like to see them large on the table.
But wait, there's more. Wait till that Legends expansion comes out, Joey, and it's gonna scratch that itch. Because the new Legends expansion is going to give you asymmetric bots. Right now, the bots all do the same thing based on one flop of a card. When the new Legends expansions come out later this year, which I think it's out in Europe, but it's not here, each Legends driver will have its own style of play. So now you're really going to be racing against, like, filling the track. So it's like you and a buddy and then like 5 other cars that are run by the board. It is a great solo game. Cool. And you can do the seasons, like a 3-race season, and kind of keep track. That's what I do on solo games. I run a 3-race season, keep track of my score, and see how I did at the end. That's like the ideal way to play.
Yeah, that would be fun to play with that would be fun to play the season. Look, I already said I wasn't buying it, okay? But maybe one of my friends already has it.
Any more of them expansions?
Got any more of that?
Well, I forget if I was going to call in about this the last week, but I will say it has to do with Kickstarter, and basically it was I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
No, do it.
Game group,
go for it.
No one would get in trouble, but the company who put out Rallyman Dirt,
yes,
Now, when that Kickstarter, I think it fulfilled, or it funded, the company went out of business.
Holy Grail Games, I think it was.
But all of the product was sitting in a warehouse. Well, the people who funded it, all the backers, started do you know this story?
I don't. I'm listening.
Started a Discord, and one of the people who works in the warehouse where the thing was stored found the Discord and started distributing it. And so now it's in his possession, and all these people paid for it. And so it was just interesting. So now that game has, shown up at some of our game group. We still haven't played it, but that's another racing game where I wouldn't mind playing that one. But that was an interesting. I'll have to ask him more about it the next time we play. But that's the gist of it. Is basically, yes, it funded. Company went out of business. The product was made. It's in a warehouse, and one of the warehouse workers found it, and either a new company took over and is either getting it to the backers, or he was so ticked for the longest time because he was like, I hate it. I paid my money. It's not here, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, there's a topic for you. Probably maybe more people who are listening to the show might have an experience with that exact Kickstarter, but
well,
anyways, I just wanted to call in.
If you stick around and listen, we'll talk a little bit about Dirt, because Rallyman, well, not Dirt, but Rallyman GT, and then there's Rallyman Dirt. I'll talk a little extra about that right after when we end this call here, because 10 minutes are up. Thank you so much for being a caller. Okay. We'll open up the phone lines for the others. Have a good night, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody be good.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
Phone line's back open. 813-618-7099 is the number. Give us a ring. We're taking calls. We're at caller number 3 so far. Rallyman GT, we were hot on that for a while there. Especially on BGA. We're playing it in person and BGA. I currently own, I think, 2 or 3 copies of it, plus the extra tile set, plus the championship set. And all of it was so that I can create the actual racetracks from all over the world. So like there's somebody online put out a PDF of how to put every racetrack in the world, like Sebring or Daytona. But what I struggle with on it,
game.
That's what it is. It's the fiddliness of the game.
So fiddly.
Yeah. And the laying of the dice.
Laying of the dice. And playing it on BGA is so much smoother. And yeah, I mean, I like racing games, but I also hate racing games. Like it's just the runaway leader issue in racing games just kills me. Like that's kills me with heat just so much. Like anyway,
that has always been something I've accepted with racing games.
Yeah,
because in real racing, that's just kind of how it is. If you have some bad luck,
I think Flamme Rouge and Thunder Alley don't really have that issue.
No, because Thunder Alley, you have so many cars that you're running. Right. You might have a rabbit, and you might have one in the back that's just like, you don't care if he wrecks out.
Yeah.
And Flamme Rouge is usually a pack until you get to the very, very end.
And then so much. Yeah, I'd love to do this.
That one does feel like Hunger Games. The Flamme Rouge is like we all stay together. We all stay together to the very end, then we all turn on each other.
Yeah.
I would love to do another Thunder Alley League. I think we should get to Dan and
that'd be fun
again.
Seasons of Thunder Alley are awesome.
Yeah.
But that was my twig. I talked Endeavor. If you guys want to jump into the twig too and talk a little bit about what you've got, I got others as well.
Yeah, I'll jump in. I know I called in last week. I only talked about Vantage, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I will do one of my other ones then. So let me share my screen. So the game day a week or 2 ago, I finally got to play some games that I've been wanting to play for a while. So I will do Smartphone Inc.
Oh, such a good one.
It's a good one.
This game was awesome. So
it is awesome.
Yeah. This is
your
a game
first
that
play?
Yes, I had never played it. Yeah, it was crazy. See, what's funny is there's always the games where it's like, have you never played this game? Never played it. First play, 4 new players, played a 5-player game. 1 teacher, Michelle, taught it, did a great job. And like initially, like I know a little bit about the game because Mike talks about it all the time. And he's like, oh, it's 8 actions or 10 actions over 6 rounds. Sounds like a lot, but once you get through it, you're gonna be like, blah blah blah. So I told all the other new players, I'm like, I don't know how to play this game, but what I've been told is it sounds like a lot, but once you actually go through the first round, you'll be like, that's it, let's crank it through. And after the first round, we were like, that's it, great, let's crank it through. And we finished 5-player game, 4 new players. It was like an hour and 10 minutes, hour and 15 minutes. It was so crazy fast. Like we just blew through it and it was great. Loved it. Definitely a game I want to own. It's all about creating, you're selling cell phones, mobile market, throughout the, all over the country, all over the world, excuse me. Yeah. And you have this tablet where your iPad, and you rotate your iPad to create the actions you're going to take. And then those actions add up. And you go through the thing, and you're either penetrating a market or you're opening new technology, you're producing phones, and you're trying to sell phones, and that the tablet determining where you're going to sell and who sells first, who places first, such a huge deal. And like that last turn probably took the longest because everyone's trying to math out like, okay, well, if I sell at 7 and I go last, I can still sell XYZ because I have this technology that no one else has. And the people aren't in this market and they can't sell there. And it was just super fast. I loved it. And what's crazy is the game plays best at 5. Like if you're playing the base game, the main board, it's best at 5, which is how often do you go to a game day and you have like an odd number? You're like, oh, we only got 5. What are we going to do? What game are we going to play? This is the game to play. If you have a 5-player, 5 people, and you need to play a game, this is the game to play. And then there's the 1.1 expansion, which gives you another board that plays better at smaller numbers because it tightens it, But yeah, this game really flew quick. It's on my list to buy. I want to own a copy of it. So this will be one that adds to my collection this year. So
what do you think about this? I was just, you started talking there. One of the things, I haven't played this in a few years. It's been a while, but I know I really, really like it. I've played it probably at least 3, 4, 5 times now. And what do you think about and I love this part of it, but the turn structure being on the board where you have just a little meeple that you move down. Everybody does this. Everybody does this. Everybody does this. I'm sure some people think that detracts because, it's a little bit of, I won't say ugly, but it's a part of the board that's being used up for something other than artwork and prettiness or whatever. But man, I love that little, you move it. Everybody do that right thing. You move it.
I love this. This is fantastic.
It makes it so easy to know where you are in the game and what we're doing.
It's all color coded. We're here. We're triggering this color. How much do you have? Okay, do it. Yeah. We're here. Do this color. So it's
like if Steve Jobs could have designed a game, I think he would have made it look like this. Yes. Like the UI, the user interface here is just awesome.
Super awesome. And then while we were playing the game, someone mentioned like this mechanism, this set, the way this game's, you could retheme this to multiple other like industries or things. And just the way it's laid out, you have 5 turns. Each 5 of the turns have this many steps. It's all color coded. I like the turn order track, where it's a set turn order, but it's who sells higher or lower. Lower goes first next to higher.
Yes,
because you get your stuff to market sooner. And then if you're in the same level, it's whoever's higher on the victory point track. Super easy. I love the dual layer board where you're just putting in the things. The opening the technology was interesting. I thought that I would need to play with because it seemed so. Chris, I think, won, and he rushed and got a couple of those technologies out. So he was the first one to get the tech, which gives
you get the tech, you get bonuses and
those victory points. He ended up with like 24 bonus points at the end of the game because of the tech. I'm like, ooh, that was a lot. All right, I probably need to we probably needed to stop him from getting 2 or 3 techs as the first one to get those techs. So
I think what I love the most about it is that decision space of, do I want to be the Apple iPhone company of the world where I've got like the most expensive, best technology, or do I want to be like the Huawei, like the cheap flip phone guy who's
get it everywhere.
PCS mobile, and I'm just flooding the market and then buying all the shares in that region before you can sell your phones. I got up all the customers.
There was one of the 5 players, and he was the only one to unlock the 4G tech. which was like the highest tech in our thing. And I like that fact that it's random too. And so at the end of the game, he's like, well, I can sell for like the max, because even if all the other people sell cheaper and fill up everything that I can still, he had the technology that allowed him to sell a couple anyway to like the secondary market. And then he could just sell to all the 4G spaces. And he like made a huge comeback because he just, flooded the market with high end phones, and he was the only one that could sell it, which is pretty cool. I just speaking back to our board game collections, this fits a niche, right? It is a kind of a Euro,
one of a kind.
It's a worker placement, sort of engine building, area control. It's a good Euro that plays amazing at 5 players and fast. Like a 5-player game, if you know how to play it, hour and 10. I think we finished in like an hour and 30 maybe at max, and so we got through it quick. So this fits a niche because there's a lot of times when you have a game day and you end up with an odd number of players, and you can go, well, I got the perfect game for 5. Let's go, and it'll be quick. So Smartphone Inc. was on my twig.
That's good.
Well, I'm glad you got it played, man. The solo is awesome. The solo system, and I do have the expansion that gives you that smaller board to play with like 2 or 3 players, which is also better for solo. And it just gives me some really good. I had a lot of good solo games with this one. I think I'm gonna have to get this to the table this week. Solo.
Nick's asking versus mobile markets. I have not played mobile markets, but I know that One Mike One Game has, and he said he prefers smart mode over mobile markets. I believe. That's
Mike generally been the opinion that I've heard, is that it is better. Mobile markets is a smaller game. It's I think mostly card based, and it changes up some of the mechanisms. So I've heard some people do like it better just because they like some of the mechanisms in it better.
Yeah, and it plays out of the box better at smaller player counts. Smartphone, if you want to play it at smaller player counts, you want that 1.1 expansion, which gives you a smaller board. Otherwise, you have a bunch of like overlays and things like that. So
Steve is the AI opponent. Yeah.
Yes, I love that, Steve.
Mr. Jeeves, every game I play against Nick on BGA has a runaway leader problem.
100%.
If we're talking about the same Nick,
yes. Oben.
Not always the case, though, Nick.
No, I was just actually thinking about this today. I beat him in a game, I think yesterday or the day before. I was like, you know what? I think I would win about 1 out of every 5 to 10, and I'm okay with that. So
yeah, depends on the game. It depends on the game.
Yeah.
So, and then Aaron saying, oh yeah, smartphone is unexpected good. The icon overlay mechanism is great, and I love the strategy associated with how the second phase unfolds. 100%.
Mm-hmm. And the box control is great too, because it comes with the trays in the box for every player.
Every player.
So you get your iPhone tablet interface board. I can't even, my fat fingers can't get these trays out. But the tray has a spot for all your pieces, and it's where you pull your pieces from at the same time. So you're not only are you using the tray to store it, but it's also in front of you to keep your pieces organized.
You transfer from one little well to the next based on how many phones you created or how much tech you invented. Yeah.
Yep.
People with larger fingers that I've played with have hated those little trays, and I've seen a lot of people just dump them on the table. They're like, "Screw this!" Halfway through the game, they just dump it out. Yeah. But there's an idea there. It was built on a good idea.
It was good. Yeah. I really like it. It's definitely a game that I'm looking to pick up and add to my collection because it was
cool.
So.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever want to borrow it, I got it here for you.
Yeah, it's good.
And the 2 to 3 player board.
Nice.
Good twig. Good twig.
Yeah. You guys keep going. I'm going to be right back. I'm under the weather tonight. I got to go refill my water cup here. I'm running dry, but I'll be right back.
All right.
You want Century Golem.
Yeah.
Let's go through the chats real quick. Let's catch up on the chats, Wayne.
And I'll bring up Century.
So in the chat, let's see. We had Musar was in the chat. He says, I think before buying, a person should judge, does it add to what I already have or very similar to what I have and not adding that much. But that's also the trap I fall for. When I see a game, I'm like, ooh, I don't have that combination of mechanisms. I need that in my library.
I'm sure you do. You just don't remember.
Come up with all kinds of stuff. Aaron Clark was in there talking about how he's cooled on expansions as well. There are some that I'm interested in, like Heat, Unmatched, Dice Throne, Marvel Champions, but I don't play most of the games enough to warrant an expansion. That's my problem. I'm mostly teaching, so I rarely ever get the expansion out. For that same reason, Aaron, I try not to buy them.
Yep.
Smartphone Inc. Aaron is also giving it some props. So thank you for the chat. Phone line's open. 813-618-7099 is the number. Emerson Matsuchi. When it comes to Century Golem, this is, I don't know what got me thinking about this. It might have been you and Rob talking about playing this on BGA.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I want to get that played again. But I wanted to table it, actually table it. And we played, I think, 3 times in one night, my wife and I, while the kids were going to bed. It's just so smooth. It plays so it's so distilled down. It does what it does well, and what it does is resource conversion into points. And it's just that World of Wonders style, that Splendor style. I'm going to convert these resources into these other resources. And if I can do that more efficiently and faster than you can, I can then claim the scoring cards and win the game. But it does that with just basically a deck of cards and some gems. That's pretty much it. It's so well done. If you haven't played it yet, I recommend it. Either this version or the Caravan version, which I think is the
Spice
original.
Road.
Yeah, Century Spice Road, the one that's it's kind of the trading in the Mediterranean style, or in the Mideast.
It's crazy how that, like, Century Spice Road came out, and then, like, I don't even know how the Golem Edition came about, but it came about and it's almost more popular because of the look and feel of it. You know, the prettiness of the cards, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's a really fun game.
I think it was the designer, if I remember correctly, because he had talked about it at one time. He was signing the mats, and Rob was trying to get a hold of one at Dice Tower. But I think he loved the whole Golem artwork design, and the story behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that Reskin, I think, was the designer that pushed that one.
This is like one of those games that it's just simple, but there's like a level of complexity there. Is just figuring out the sequence of your resource exchanging. Well, if I change this to this now, then I have to, it's 2 more turns before I can get to, you're trying to, and then always the worst part is when someone buys the card you've been building for right before you do.
That's what Rob
you gotta watch. You gotta watch everybody else, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I'm missing on the beat. I think Rob, you and I are playing a copy this night now on BGA.
Probably.
And I think I did that. I was building for a card, and then all of a sudden it came back to my turn. I'm like, what the F happened on the card? There we go.
That BGA implementation, though, man, I'm struggle bussing with it.
Really?
As wide as the game is, it makes it hard to see the board, the cards. Like, I feel like everything is compressed in size, and I guess it doesn't matter because the cards really don't have a lot of info on them.
Right.
But it just on phone, phone, I'm struggling
computer,
with it.
big screen.
I'm mostly playing on a computer. Yeah, mostly playing on a computer. So cool.
Century Golem.
Which is a good one. All right. I'll go into my next twig. I got to play, and then again, there's another one I played for the first time, even though it's one that you would think I would play. I got to play Rajas of the Ganges.
I want to hear how you like this. I love this one, Carlos. You haven't played this, have you, Carlos?
I have not.
This really is probably one of my top 5 designing team, the Marcus and Inca brand.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, this was good. I really enjoyed it. I did bad at it. I think we played 4-player, 3 of us first-time players, Michelle again teaching it. And I got stuck by a weird thing. This is a dice, it's a worker placement, dice placement game. So when you have a certain amount of workers, Carlos, and you're placing them out on the board, and when you place a worker, you have to place a worker and then spend a 2 die, and you get 2 different dice and a little thing. So it's all like this. You're placing a worker to get dice, and the dice pips are used to purchase buildings that you lay out in your tableau that score you victory points, and you're moving down a river. So the board looks crazy, but it has that victory point money track, that cross, like Arc Nova.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Years before Arc Nova came up with it.
Trigger the end of the game, yeah.
Trigger the end of the game. And so I had, in the first round or 2, I had a couple of really good plays where I got a couple of really good buildings and tiles, but I spent most of my dice. So I was at a point where I had no new dice, so I needed to go get new dice. And there's a mechanism in the game where the first player can move drastically. So like the first player was right next to me. So I was the second player. Great. And then all of a sudden at the end of that round that I had spent all my dice, the first player got moved to after me. So I became the last player. So when you're the last player, all the really good spots to buy new dice kind of got taken up. And so I got screwed there. So there's like 2 or 3 rounds in a row where that first player got moved right around where I was out of dice. And I had a hard time recovering from that. And then at that same time, the next round, the other 3 players all got to a point in the score track where they got additional worker placement. So not only was I out of dice, then I ended up being last, then everyone else got an extra worker all within 2 rounds of each other. And it just killed me. I couldn't catch back up. So
turn order is important.
Turn order is important. And kind of I can't imagine that happening often where in the span of 2 rounds, you spent all your dice, you move to being last, and everyone else gets the extra worker before you.
Yeah.
So it was but I still really enjoyed the play, right? So that's despite the events that transpired to knock me off the perch early. Great game, loved it. I love Village. It's one of my favorite games of all time, which is another one of their games. So I think this is a really cool game. Really love it. I love the idea of trying to figure out the dice, manipulate the dice, change the pips of the dice, change the color of the dice, using all that to buy your tiles to then move up. There's these kind of like temple tracks on the right here where you move up with that. And then if you score your main board, if you've moved up the track of this temple and you're scoring the temple on your main board, you get extra victory points and extra income. But what's interesting, you spend some of your income. So like, as you're moving up the victory point track and the money track, you're going to spend your money. So there's kind of like this balance of how much money you're willing to spend to do an action to gain more victory points. But it was cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I owned a copy of this. I bought it just because there was a really good copy with all the extras and it was 3D printed insert for sale at a good price. So I purchased it knowing that I would like it because it's an income market sprint game and I knew the mechanisms. So yeah, got it to the table finally. And now, this will hit the table on a regular basis for me and probably will be pretty high on my list next month. So, Rajas of the Ganges.
Another game I haven't played in years. This one's been longer. I want to say probably 4, 5, 6 years since I played it. And I've only played it, I think, 3 times. But, this is a great one. This is just one of those that if I see it, I'll play pretty much any time. Really good game.
So, might have just been €2 to make it to my table. But I trust you guys. That I did love that scoring aspect of Arc Nova, and that was about it.
Did it several years before Arc Nova.
I think you'd like it, Carlos. Yeah.
So throw in some dice mechanisms for either action selection, worker placement, or for purchasing, and I enjoy that.
Yep, it's good.
I need a little randomness in my games to be able to make it to catch up to you guys intellectually.
Yeah. Whatever.
All right,
Pablo's in the chat. Pablo says, I like this way more than Splendor, and I think he's talking about Century Golem. I like when engine builders are made of smaller little engines, cards here, like terraforming rather than making the whole engine from scratch.
Yeah, I like that they seed you a couple of cards.
It's just distilled. You're just like right in it.
Yeah.
Rob, any twigs for you this past week?
I don't think so. I was thinking about it. I've had a busy week. I went to a playoff hockey game. I went deep sea fishing. Nice. I went to an air show. I've done a lot this week, and it's probably why I'm under the weather now. I think it's catching up with me. I haven't slept a bunch of nights just because I've been out late doing stuff. But I'm super busy with the kids doing different things. But I haven't really gotten any gaming in. I haven't purchased anything. I see the banner up there on top of the BGG that we got up, the Arkham Horror, the LCG, and Michael from over at Armada messaged me, I think it was on Monday, and said, hey, the new character packs are in. And I was like, oh boy, all right, hold one for me. I'll be there. So I just haven't gotten over there to pick it up yet, but nice. I haven't played the new season 2 yet at all. Waiting for my daughter to come back from college next. I think she's coming back a week from tomorrow. So I'm holding off on that, but I can't wait. As soon as she gets back, I'm going to sit her down, not force her through, but get that played right away. She wants to play, but I'm going to make that top priority so I can play. And then if she likes it, I'm going to go all in. I think I'm going to go acrylics. I'm going to go the dice bag. I'm going to or the token bag. I'm going to do it all. So I'm hoping she enjoys it so I can go all in with it.
For me, a couple of purchases that have come in. I'll share my tabletop here. These are focused on the kids. So I'll start off with this purchase was while we were at Disney. It is a $20 box set of Guess Who Travel Edition. I just wanted to show off what they did with this. I've never bought a travel edition of Guess Who.
All the Disney characters and stuff.
Yes, it's super cute for any Disney files that enjoy Disney movies. You saw the way that came apart. They're clipped together, so all the cards stay in there. It's got a little slot for these like super mini cards. Like, look how tiny these are. They're so cute. And they've got all the different characters from the show. And as you play, in the regular Guess Who, you're like flipping the things down. Here, you're just sliding cards down to get them out of the way as you start to narrow down who you're trying to guess for the other player.
You can change out the characters, I take it then?
You can, but I don't think it's intended to.
Okay.
Like once you insert them, they're kind of locked in there.
Gotcha.
So you've got your set of characters, and then when you're done with the game, you just kind of flip it over and push them back down, and boom, you're reset, ready to play again. So this is a very cute travel game for those of you with small kids. Deduction game, and you don't even need the box anymore. I know Wayne will come at me to tell me to get rid of the box. He's all about getting rid of boxes. This game holds itself without a box. So I thought that was very cool. I wanted to show that off. Guess Who? Disney, or Guess Who travel version, Grab and Go by, who does this? Hasbro, of course. The other game that came up is my buddy Patrick was talking about. I went to Patrick's daughter's birthday party this past weekend, and Patrick was talking about how they've been playing a ton. His daughter is almost Lexi's age. She's 5 now. They've been playing a ton of My First Carcassonne, which I have. I think I own a copy of Carcassonne, but I've really only ever played it at Rob's house. And Rob, if you can remember, that might have been like once or twice ever. So
Maybe
I've
once,
never been a huge fan of Carcassonne.
No.
But the way this one's described, being kid friendly, 4 and up, super simple rules. That's it. This is 2 pages here is all you got to worry about, not the front or the back. And then they're going to get these massive kid tiles. I haven't even punched it yet, so y'all can see it. These massive tiles for the kids. These are thick boys, like thick boys. Look at that, it's thick with 2 C's. And the tiles, instead of creating regions that you block off, you're creating paths. I don't know how to say that. It's paths, like multiple, plural. And as you complete a path, if you're able to make a path end, you will then place your meeples on any characters that are on that path that match your color. So you're trying to build a path such that it closes and you have more of your characters on that path, so you can get rid of your meeples first. The first player to get rid of all their meeples comes in a wax paper bag, I guess, biodegradable, no plastics. But look at these meeples, brother. They're huge. And you're just going to place those meeples on the path. First player to get rid of all their meeples wins the game. Simple as that. Super light kids game. Patrick loves it. I'm looking forward to playing this with my daughter. My First Carcassonne.
Cool. Very cool.
That completes my twig.
Yeah. I've done like my first Catan and my first Ticket to Ride, and they were really cool. So
yeah, and I want to play my Ticket to Ride with her, but I think at 4 she's still a little young.
Yeah, a little young, but the Ticket to Ride one sounds. The Carcassonne seems like it's even easier. So,
I think this one will hit. I'll report back on how a 4-year-old does with it for all you parents out there.
Cool.
I'll do one more of my twig, and then that'll be good for the week. But I got to play. This is a Z Garcia love, which is I get to play Manara, and this is like an adult gamer version of what's the little monkey fighting guys building the game up. Oh my god!
Rhino Hero?
Rhino Hero, yes. This is an adult version.
I was right?
Yeah. This is the gamer version of Rhino Hero Super Battle.
Mm-hmm.
So you're starting with a certain number of these little like wood pegs, and then you have to build up, and you have like you have missions, and the mission is to build so many levels up, and then you win. But in order to do so, you're flipping over cards, and there's like the challenge cards have like easy, medium, hard. And so if you flip over an easy one, it's going to, just place 1 peg or just place 1 color peg that matches or something like that. And then but you have to start picking the harder ones, but the harder ones might be like, it has to be 2 yellows or 3 yellows, or it has to be all in the same piece. and then you have to slowly kind of try to build up. And every time you can't build, you have to you're increasing the difficulty. So like, let's say I have to get to 4 levels high, but if I take a hard card and I can't complete it because I don't have 3 yellow pegs, or I can't, build all on the same card, well, then that goes down, and now you have to go 5 levels up. And so it's like this kind of race. And so it was interesting. Like, it definitely was a much gamier version of Rhino Hero Super Battle.
That looks dangerous, though, like cleanup wise. If someone like Rhino Hero, if it falls, it's not that big of a deal. But if this bad boy falls,
there's like the little pegs and stuff. Yeah, this is pretty easy though. But so we were playing at Alex's house, and we were playing on like one of those plastic folding tables.
Ooh.
So every time you had to play, the whole table kind of shake, and like it gets hard because there was a challenge where it was like you had to place a peg or on a tile. There was one of these little tiles had like you had to place the first peg here, and then every other peg you placed on the tile, which was like there was 4 spots for pegs. You had to move that peg. You had to use a peg to move that peg on the tile to the other spot, and then you could place another one, and then move it, and then place another one. So there's like different challenges and levels and strategies, and there was like we were playing with an advanced version where there were these token like little crystals, and so you had to eliminate all of the red and blue crystals by playing them on these tiles as you built up the thing. We didn't win, we failed, but it was fun. It was an interesting thing. I know that like Z Garcia from the Dice Tower has talked about this. It's regularly on his top lists, various things. So it was good to try it. And how I would describe it is, if you like Rhino Hero Super Battle, if you like trying to balance things, or Jenga, this is definitely a gamer's version of those type of games. So.
I played it once. It's good. But caller coming in.
Oh, there you go.
Beansanddice podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Good evening, gentlemen. It's Chris from Texas.
Ah, my man Chris. Caller number 4.
All right.
Put it on the board. We're talking. What? How did you pronounce that?
Menara.
Menorah.
I pictured a menorah, like
a menorah, like
yeah,
like yeah.
Yes.
No,
I had no idea this is what that game was. Chris, what are you talking about? Show's yours. You got 10 minutes on the clock.
First of all, I want to congratulate you guys on 10 callers last week, and what was it? 2 internationals, 3 internationals?
2 international callers.
So congratulations, guys, on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Feels like an anniversary or something, you know.
It was one of those episodes where we were like, do we do this show? I'm kind of tired. All right, let's go. And like the folks were waiting for it. So like that just tells me if I ever feel like I want to cancel, don't, because there are people waiting to call in.
100%. Yeah. Well, I was going to give you a little twig.
Dale.
Talk about that. All right. So I was at a camp out on Saturday night. We wind up not camping out. Usually we do, but the weather was really bad, so we wound up just going there for the potluck. But we played some games while we were there. One of the games I played was Saros, which really, Carlos, you're the reason that I found out about that game originally. Remember Saros with the domino tiles?
Oh, yes, the dinosaur one.
Trick-taking. Oh, yeah, trick-taking puzzle game where you have your unique player maps, asymmetric, and you basically score points based off of the spacing of the dinosaurs, the different symbols, and the colors. So basically in the game, you have everyone starts with 7 dominoes, and then every round you flip over one randomly from the pile in the center. That becomes the trump suit for the round. And then whoever's the first player can play any domino they want, and that will be the suit for the round. And they could just play suit, and then every other player has to play suit if they have it, or they can play a trump if they have the trump color. And then obviously trump will beat whatever suit is. So if that first player wants to guarantee they're going to win, they kind of need to play the trump suit to guarantee it. But they can play any color they want. And not only that, so you're trying to win tricks like a normal trick-taking game, but you're also, whatever domino you play in front of you is going to be the domino that comes back to you. So that domino is going to be placed at the end of that turn on your player board. And you can place it anywhere you want initially, but then you have to place dominoes adjacent to one another. So you're thinking of a spatial puzzle. You're also thinking of, obviously, the symbologies and then colors. The colors of the suit of the dinosaur, the different type of dinosaur. You score points for having so many of the same, up to 4 of the same color. You'll score the most points for that. And then bones and other symbols that will give you various points based off of different scoring conditions. There's a total of, I think, 5 different scoring conditions in the game. Like if you have the most eggs, you get 4 points at the end of the round. But there's a total of about 5 different ways you can score points from these dominoes when you place them on your mat. So you're thinking of the trick-taking aspect, but then you're also thinking about what you want to place. And then now if you win the trick, this is interesting. If you win the trick, you have to take 2 dominoes. So you take the domino that you played, and then you can take another player's domino. So that's where it gets kind of competitive because, the other player might want that one back, and you can actually take it from them if you're the one who wins the trick. Or you can take the trump suit for your second domino. So the winner is going to always take 2 dominoes. Every other player is going to take 1. And then, of course, if somebody takes your domino and you don't win that trick, you take the trump suit. You'll take the other, thing. It's the other domino that's left, basically. It's just the trump. And then you just do that over 2 rounds. You play, 7 turns, and then you do it again. And then whoever has the most points at the end of those 2 rounds wins the game. And then there's 2 little spaces on the side of your player mat, and those are -2 spaces. And so if you happen to get too many dominoes at the end of those 2 rounds, you'll take it up to -4 points. So you don't want to win every trick because you're going to get -4 if you do that, because you're going to be taking all these extra dominoes. Now you can't have over a -4. -4 is the worst you can do, but you're trying to not get those negatives at the end. You're trying to maximize your points on your player mat. Obviously, you're trying to win some tricks so that you have dibs over, which dominoes you take. And I find it very fascinating. I've never seen the combination of trick taking with tile placement, in this case, domino placement, and then instead of cards, you're using dominoes. And then every you play 2 rounds, but you rotate the mats. So you score, your mat, everybody clears all the dominoes off, and then round 2, you take the mat to the person to your left. So you get a different player board those 2 rounds, which I think is another cool little element because they're all unique, right, where the placements are. You probably have some pictures pulled up, but
yes.
Does that make sense?
Now, this one, it interested me when I first saw it, but I felt like it was one of those trick takers that was just going too far, like in mechanisms to make it something that would be family weight-ish. How did it end up when you took it with you and taught it?
It was great. Now, unfortunately, I taught it to a high schooler, and I taught it to my son, which, he's 9. So younger children, I think, might get a little lost on the scoring. And then I would say older kids, definitely, not younger kids. Let me see. I think it says 10 and up. Let me look on Board Game Geek here. Yeah, 10 and up. I think that's accurate. I think right around 10 is the sweet spot for teaching kids.
Trick takers are hard, man. I know I grew up on them, but I've struggle bust in trying to teach non-gamers, non-trick takers. I'll say it that way. Non-trick take players how to play trick taking. I wish you the best.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think in some ways it's easier because the suits are different dinosaurs. So like, you have the blue dinosaurs or the water dinosaurs. You have yellow dinosaurs, the artwork's different on every color. And so you're looking at the color, but then all the dinosaurs look different for those colors. And I think that might help a little bit. And they're also, there's no kings, there's no jacks. There's none of those special cards like you have a normal trick taker, like a standard deck of cards. It just ranges from 1 to 8 and 1 to 9. So you're not dealing with 10s, you're not dealing with jacks, queens. And I think that helps a little bit. There's less numbers at play.
Valid. That does help, definitely. And I'm a sucker for anything with those tiles, like the Mahjong style or domino style tiles. They just look great.
Yeah, 100%. Any other questions on that one?
Nope.
Okay. So that was one game I got together. I also got out Mindbug. I taught it to the same high school kid that I played Saros with. He really enjoyed it. It was the first game I played where it just came down to the wire. It was very interesting. I told you before that you draw 10 cards at the beginning and you draw 5 off the top. And so you basically have, 10 cards, but then you can mind bug 2 monsters. So then that's going to give you basically 12, but then they can mind bug 2 of yours. So you're basically dealing with 10 cards. And once those cards run out, if you can't draw, you can't, play another creature or you can't attack with it, then you lose. We got down in that game to like the final 2 creatures each. We each had 2. We had nothing in our hands, and we were just attacking each other. What I was able to do is I was able to draw out those mind bug cards, and I had the best card possible. It was basically one of these cards that does direct damage to any creature, and it was a 7, which is pretty high. Like the highest in the game is 10. And so I drew out all of his mind bugs, and then I used last. I played my 7, and then I was able to take out all his monsters, one by one that he had, and then just finally take him out in his life. So, but it went down to the wire. Like the longest game, it was a full 30-minute game. Most of the time I played it, it's been 15 to 20 minutes. So I like that there's a timer on the game. Regardless of what happens, it's going to end, usually in 30 minutes because you're going to run out of cards. And I like that. So shout out to Mindbug again.
And is that the King of Tokyo one like you talked about last time, or was that a different set?
Correct. Yeah. Same set. Yeah. That's the only one I have. I'm gonna play this one a while before I get anything else for it. I want to play this because it's got a lot to it. Just in the
and it's got that crossover
it's got more mechanism.
It's got that crossover into a board game, which makes me want to buy it. Like it's kind of like that feeling of Rolling Realms, where they like, hey, here's some other games you love, right? Like, oh, okay.
Cross promotion, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then finally, I won't talk about it much, but we did play. My son and I played Star Wars: The Deck Building Game, the Mandalorian expansion. So we played. My son played the Mandalorians, and I played the Rebels. And I really do like the new set. I like the variety and the mechanisms that are unique to the Mandalorians is really cool. I wound up pulling out the win on that one, but. I got some early cards. I had a planet that let me, I think, Rob, you know this one, but it lets you take the first card you buy each turn and put it on top of your deck.
Yep.
And I had that planet for a while. I think I got like 4 cards with it. So I really capitalized. It might have been 5, but 4 or 5 cards early. And so I really got strong. And that was the only reason. But then late game, he was really doing well. And I was able to just knock him out because I had built up and I'd already taken down a couple of his planets. So I had the lead.
Which faction did you play? Did you say?
The Rebels. Yeah.
Oh, you played the Rebels. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. The Rebels usually come into theirs later. Usually. Yeah. So that's interesting, but yeah, you got some good cards early. That'll make a difference.
Yeah. And then I was able to get some big cards towards the end too. So, like I had, I didn't have the Millennium Falcon because he destroyed that. He destroyed like 2 cards. Which more credit to him. But I was able to get I think a 7 power or 6 power and some other big powered cards like late game. That helped as well.
And if I remember, that Mandalorian faction really rewards you for picking off cards in the market for destroying those cards.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I really like the play style. And then you can take over some things. There's one guy you can sacrifice him, exile him, and then you take over that capital ship, which I thought was really cool as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that one. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. That's my twig. 3 games.
Nice.
Beautiful. Awesome. And that's caller number 4 for the evening.
Woohoo!
On the board. Thank you so much for keeping it a call-in show, brother.
My pleasure. You guys have a wonderful night.
Good night.
You too. Thanks, Chris.
That's Chris, Pop and Tot from Texas. Check him out on YouTube. Pop and Tot, his son and him will do the occasional video where they top 10 or otherwise. Oh, it's Chad in the chat. Chad Stilson says, thanks for my first Carcassonne overview. I have a 4-year-old. This looks perfect.
And then, I don't know, Cryptic Apathy. Hello from everyone from Pasco.
Hey, representing. That's Rob's stomping grounds.
Yeah, Pasco County here. Yeah. Not sure who Cryptic Apathy is, though. We'll have to figure that one out.
I'm about a mile from the Pasco borders.
It's a very sad person, but we're not sure why. It's very cryptic.
Well, We're at 4. We got about 30 minutes left, so people are going to
crank
hit
'em
that
out.
double digits again. We got to get in some calls.
Although 4 is good, and we like double-digit viewers most of the night. Just make sure you give us that thumbs up before you leave, though.
Yep.
Thanks, Wayne, for the housekeeping. I always forget that stuff. Hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up, make sure you ring the bell so you know when we go live. Recently, what have we done? We've posted up the Wingspan America's expansion video, so I posted that up separately. We've gotten a lot of views on our shorts lately. I've been using the shorts feature of StreamYard, and we've had a lot of fun shorts. Thank you, Robert, for the reminder on the banner. I like how you did that.
Yep, sorry.
Phone lines open.
I've been getting like on my YouTube feed. Definitely, the shorts have been coming up pretty good. So
I thought we had a lot of good conversations lately, and I loved the shorts that got us for our first international call. So that was an exciting short to watch, and then our 10th caller when we hit 10. That was a great short to listen to as well. And some of y'all folks who are callers are in those shorts as well. Your calls were highlighted in the conversations we had in those. So check out the shorts, like, subscribe. If you really like what we do here, you can support us through Super Chats. You can support us through PayPal at Beansanddice and at Beansanddice, Cash App, $Beansanddice, or Venmo, which I think is $Beansanddice. If you want to donate to what we do here to help to support and pay for this streaming service that we fund each month.
Yeah.
All right, I think that knocks out our twig.
Yeah, mostly.
Do some news
for next week. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh no, Wayne, you got Alibis?
Yeah.
Dude, I own it, but I haven't played it yet. Talk about Alibis.
All right, I'll talk about Alibis. That was fun, man. We played it twice. I'll bring it up here. There's Carlos. He's pulling down all the games I'm talking about tonight. He's gonna bring them up. Yeah.
That's why I buy the games. I only buy them so that I can have them available for when people call. That's
what it is.
So yeah, we played Alibis at the game day. We actually played 2 games of it. So this is kind of cool. It's kind of like Codenames, but I think the best way the person described it, taught it was like in Codenames, when you're the clue giver, you have all the stress and it sucks sometimes, right? And then the people, but Alibis, everyone's a clue giver. So in Alibis, you have, depending on the number of players, anywhere between like 6 and 12 suspects, and only one of them has committed the crime. Every player gets dealt 2 cards that basically that person has an alibi, right? That person's not guilty, and you have to give one word, a clue, just like in Codenames or just one or anything that connects those 2, and then the turn goes, everyone flips over their one word, and people can kind of talk a little bit, but really you have to kind of try to look at you have a grid of words, and you have to decide, okay, that word matches this person, that word matches this person, and so like the one word where the little T-Rex guy is could be like, I don't know, ring and then black or whatever. And so as you go through, you play 3 rounds. If you guessed right, the 2, you get a point. And then if you successfully guess, every time you guess someone right, you get a point. And then every person that guesses who the person, the thief or the criminal or whatever it is, you get 3 points. And the goal is based on how many players, you have to get so many points after 3 rounds. So like with 4 players, we needed 24 points or whatever it is. We got close. We got within 3 or 4, and then we played again with an additional person. So you need 30 points. It was tough though. It was fun though, because we're all looking at like, okay, I got 2 words, and how am I going to connect these 2 words with one other word where it doesn't then connect to other things? And it gave everybody a little bit of that stress of being the clue giver in Codenames at one time. And there were multiple times where, like, I know Michelle was like, we're good. Michelle's like, no, I'm not good. I can't even think of a word. And there were times where I'm like, I can't think of a word. It takes me a long time to play. So this game really was a great game. It's a party game, so you definitely want to have 4, 5, 6 players. But you kind of see, you put the little symbol of who you think it is, and then you put who the villain is. It was stressful, but it was fun, and it was fast because you play 3 rounds. You play 1 round, score your points, rack it again, done. So it's 30-minute game max. You kind of, don't let someone last too long with things. So you kind of, you have these little words. So it was fun. Small box game from All Play. So I'm sure All Play is going to have a booth at, there you go. All Play at Dice Tower. I'll pick this game up because it's Codenames, but it's not. It's everyone's on the same team, so it's all cooperative, which is cool. And you don't have the stress of being the clue giver for an entire round. You give one clue to connect to the criminals, and then you move on.
How about I just store this copy at your house so that one day when you decide to give it back, you can give it back. And here's why I say that. I read the rules, and this is what I felt after reading the rules and kind of like running through a setup of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this game would not allow for weaker players to be a part of it. What I mean by that is like in Codenames, you can have some weaker players. In just one, you can have some weaker players in there.
The team carries.
But here, right, because the team can carry them. I feel like what I read in here in Alibis, everyone has to be on point because each of you has a piece of this. Did it come out like that?
No, I think a weaker player is okay because what'll happen is in every round there may be 2 words. Like my 2 words, there's just no way I can connect them. So I will just connect to one. And then by process of elimination, if everyone else gave good clues, you'll have whittled down to, okay, it's one of 2 things that matches Wayne's word, right? One's the villain, one's the thing. And so it's tough. It definitely was tough. I don't think we won either time we played. We came close, but we didn't win. So a weaker player is not a huge, it's a hindrance because you definitely need to get a lot of guesses right and you need to guess the villain or criminal, whatever it is.
The perp,
whatever. Multiple times to win, but I still had a lot of fun playing it. And so, maybe, I mean, in a game of Codenames, if that weak person has to be the clue giver, then you're screwed, right? Because they have to give all the clues. In this game, that weak person only has to give 1 clue that connects 2 words each round. And if everyone else does a really good job, it becomes pretty easy for everyone to figure out who did what. But yeah, it's fun. I enjoyed it. Small box game, fun party game. Definitely a twist on that Codenames just one thing that I kind of liked. So yeah, it was a hit. I enjoyed it. I think all players that played it enjoyed it. So.
I'm glad one of us got it to the table. It's been sitting here just holding up my shelf of shame all by itself, doing a lot of work, holding up that shelf of shame.
There you go.
And then you had Cacao.
Yep. Cacao was my other game that I played, which is funny because I had played it multiple times but never played it in person. It is a Phil Walker Harding game. Praise be.
Praise be.
Praise be. But this is kind of like a twist on Carcassonne is the best way to explain it. So it's a really light game. Let me pull it up here. So you start with a certain number of tiles that have workers or your little meeples. And when you place that, it'll go next to other tiles that then score off of it. And when you have an opening where your tile is not connected by at least 2, you'll add to the tableau. Let's go here. So you'll have some tiles where if you place your tile above this, where you have little huts, you can sell cacao to that village at 4 gold per cacao. So if you place a little 3 meeple thing there, you'll score that. But then conversely, the little cacao buildings, if you place a 3 thing there, you would get 3 cacao or 6 cacao if it's a 2-1. Then you have like these mines, which just give you money. There's the temples, which score end game scoring 6 and 3. The water, which moves you up the water track, which is, you start kind of in a negative and then you get to the positives. And then there's the sort of the silver coins, which let you play over another tile later in the game. And so you're kind of just building out this Carcassonne-like tableau and adding tiles to it. So it's a super simple game. It's kind of Carcassonne light. It's lighter than Carcassonne because there's not as many crazy scoring things. It's just very kind of straightforward. But a fun Phil Walker Harding game. I've played it on BGA a lot and was able to finally play it in person. So I enjoyed it. So Cacao.
Praise be.
Praise be. Good Phil Walker Harding game. So there you go. There's my cranking through my games played. So it was a good game day.
That gets us to our in the news stuff. Is there anything specific in the news that you gentlemen want to highlight? I know we got a ton of articles in here that we have for filler, like we do that with filler. Do we jump into the Dice Tower Awards nominations? Is that a topic we're ready for, or do we save that?
I think we save that for next week. I'll get the Excel.
I want to go through them all.
Yeah, I want to get.
I don't think we're gonna have time.
Yeah.
We can talk about.
You posted in here with the Descent Legends of the Dark. You put that article in here.
Mm-hmm.
The sadness that is the loss of Descent.
Is it? This version. I'm a huge fan of the one before. So was this kind of 3?
This was the big app one or whatever.
This was the big one that I got and then got rid of, but never played.
Right.
So like it made it through my house, but I never played it.
Yep. I never played this version, but the one before, I think, which was 2, was awesome. Carlos and I played that
Tons
a bunch.
Of it.
Yeah, a ton of. We bought a bunch of.
I can see the next edition. I can see someone picking this up and bringing it back to this. They went crazy with this one with the stairs and too much terrain and 3D stuff.
Yep.
Then the minis themselves, they had the fidgety pieces where you're plugging in little colored pips into them. So they jumped the shark, I think, and now they're pulling the reins back. They said they're not done with it.
Good way to say it. Yeah.
They're just not gonna produce anything new for it.
Yep. Because they basically were selling it at a loss.
That's crazy because that game was expensive.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not mourning the loss of this version. I never played it, so I guess I can't really say. But it just seemed way too fiddly, way too much stuff. Build terrain, put stuff out there. I say that, and I love my Frosthaven, my Gloomhaven, but I don't know.
But you're not building staircases and that seemed that level of terrain building is almost for like the hardcore role play gamers, like the Critical Role people, where they have those little sets built and stuff. So,
but in a world with Frosthaven in it, and Gloomhaven, I can see why Descent did not survive.
Yeah, I say, is there room for Descent? I can't wait for another version though. I'm hoping, like you said, they said they're not done with it. I'm hoping it comes back because I love some Descent. So, yeah, I really do hope it comes back in a maybe a less 3D way. I don't know.
Oh, this is an article that I had on my list somewhere if I can find it. Dice Throne's digital Kickstarter thoughts. So Dice Throne put out its Kickstarter for its digital game, the digital form of Dice Thrones, and the folks on the boards just went nuts. Apparently, for that first buy-in as a Kickstarter, it was like $60 for the game, with none of like the packs, the character packs. It's just like base game. It's like you almost paid to have the privilege to say you were part of the Kickstarter that developed it, but you really got nothing out of it. So much so that I think within the first week, I'll say days of the Kickstarter going live and the comments, the company put out a video, which I think I shared in our Discord, almost apologizing and like saying, okay, we will knock it down to $30. So like they like halved the price for the Kickstarter to really make it worth it. And I think they're going to include character packs with that for the folks that jump in, because by the time you paid the Kickstarter price and then bought the character pack separately, you probably ended up saving maybe $5 compared to what someone who waited for retail for it to come out. Oh yeah. Like even the physical copies, it seemed nuts. I don't know who thought that one through or didn't.
There's been, it seems like in several Kickstarters lately, there's been this, how much can we milk the cow?
It is. It's almost testing the waters to see we have a captive audience. They love our game. They say they'll do anything. I mean, Brass Birmingham just did a $120 game.
Who does Dice Throne? Isn't that the same? That's not Roxley, right?
Yes.
Same company.
Yes. We just cash cowed Birmingham. I think we can milk them for another $60 for a digital game. And the people were like, okay, we went too far.
Yeah, it's probably I didn't back the Brass Birmingham stuff just because it really irritated me that the base deluxe copy was the price of both of the original deluxe copies. Like it just felt like it was just too much. But anyway.
And then this one, I'm sure this one will tickle Rob. Mechs and Minions is returning. This is an article on Eric Martin's Board Game Beat website. He left the BGG news that he was hosting, and he's now running his own website. I am a subscriber of it. He's putting out great news articles and commentary. But Mechs versus Minions is returning to print. So, Rob, that Holy Grail game that you have sitting up there is going to have some more friends in the market.
So, yeah, good and bad. So I didn't realize it because I had not been looking to get rid of mine. But I've heard reports that this was going for $500, $600, $700 online. There were copies on eBay for almost $1,000 from what I hear. And they're like, that market obviously is crashing now because they announced this. So, awesome game. I've played the first intro scenario because this is a scenario based legacy, not legacy, but a campaign that you can play through with envelopes that you open as you go along. They have different objectives. They add things to the game, take things away. And I've played just the starter, the intro one, I think 3 times now and really enjoy it. But I have not found, I thought my kids were going to play, and I taught it to them when they were much younger. And they liked it, but it was a little over their heads. So maybe I need to get it back on the table now that they're both in their 20s and can kind of completely wrap their head around it. But really cool if you like programming games. This one, you're programming your moves ahead of time. You're all working cooperatively to try to beat different goals. Some of them are take out the bad guys. Some of them are protect the escort across the board.
Tower defense, right? Isn't that a style of it too?
Yeah, it's got a bunch of different little modes in it that you're playing through. So yeah, it seems like it's really cool where it could go. I just have never, like I say, gotten the group together to play through it, but really cool, pre-painted minis in it. This is really a high production game.
Riot Games, the same company that does the League of Legends.
Yep,
they're saying that they're gonna partner with Incredible Dream Studios to come out with the new edition. 2020 later in 2026, they'll announce pricing, pre-sales, promotions. But they're talking about having the expansions out there as well in this next publication. So kind of like putting those back out there.
Yep.
So maybe Rob, you can fill up some expansions if you so see fit.
Pick up some more. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be as cheap as the original. When this game came out,
it's the 10th year anniversary. They're saying I can't believe it's been 10 years since that game came out.
What you got for I think it was
$80. Yeah, $80. Yeah, when I bought it, and the production value alone, if just those minis and stuff, most companies, I would say now, but even at the time, I mean, this game would have been a $200 crowdfunded game. There's little gears in it. I can't remember if they're metal or they're plastic, but they're all really shiny, cool looking resources that you have. High gloss cards. I mean, it was really a top production. That was the big thing about it too, is that people just like you don't find a game with this production level for $80. It just blew people away, and that was one of the reasons I really wanted to get it. But I do like programming games, so that was another big part of it. But and then it's set in a video game, League of Legends universe. Didn't hurt either with my kids. So yeah, really really cool.
And they also did that King's Gambit, they did a small box game. Rob, you and I played it at one of the pubs where it's a memory game, but it's based off of one of the games in the show. The components were amazing, and that was their big thing, is all production. Like their production of their games was going to be like an homage to their IP, their fictional world. So looking forward to seeing this one, making it back to using Tom Vassel's theory. If it's good, it'll come back.
Yep, it'll eventually be back. Mm-hmm.
And then Asmodee buys ATM Gaming, ships Ostia, reports Q3 2025 earnings. So Asmodee is shipping Ostia and buying more companies. Anybody surprised by that?
Nope.
No.
Although I like, hopefully Ostia becomes more readily available. Although I wasn't a fan of the Mariner edition.
Yeah, I like the base. I think from what I've heard,
the original one I guess the didn't have the dual layer, like some ridiculous thing. Like company licensed the Mariner edition or the edition of Ostia, which came out from Japan, but for some reason they weren't able to produce the dual layer boards. It was like against the agreement. I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't know. So it's just such a good game.
I'm looking forward to getting that one played. I know they came out with their different version.
Yeah, the Mariner edition.
Yeah, but I still want to play this. I keep hearing about the original one.
Really good.
It's good.
We've got Board Game Wire, Sentinels of the Multiverse, the company that makes Sentinels of the Multiverse. Flat River sells Greater Than Games brand to a digital developer.
Yeah,
Honda Labra.
That's interesting. That means that is Sentinels of the Multiverse going more digital than it's like 6 versions in the physical form.
Which is sad because that was all after you bought your giant big box that you were so excited to play, right?
Yeah, well, after the giant big box, which was supposed to be the last of it, they immediately came out with like a second edition of Sentinels of the Multiverse, and
which is horrible. I hate when they do that.
That game took a turn for the worse.
Hot Streak, Magical Athlete Race to Win in its in this year's American Tabletop Awards. So we got some nominees: Molly House, Fate of the Fellowship, and then both from CMYK Games, Hot Streak and Magical Athlete. Those two have been like butting heads in so many different lists. It's almost like the Dune versus Imperium thing happening, where these two games came out at the same time.
So none of us have played Magical Athlete, right?
Correct. I have not.
Oh, I have. I played it at Sobo. Yep.
Okay. How was it?
Sobo.
It's good. This year?
Yes.
What'd you think?
It's good. It's very light. I mean, it's very similar to the other one there. That's why the Hot Streak. Yeah. I mean, you are choosing an asymmetrical, basically there's, I don't know, 20, 30 different characters. And at the beginning, so if you're a 4-player game, you flop out the top 4 off the deck. Everybody chooses in turn order. Everybody chooses. It's kind of a snake draft. So you go that way. You lay out 4 more. You reverse order, choose the characters you want. They all have different abilities. Some, every time a 4 is rolled by anybody, you get to move ahead of space. Another character, anytime somebody lands on your space, they have to go back 3 spaces. So it's just wacky powers like that they all have. So you have some ability to kind of maybe try to set up a little synergy, but you're only playing one character each race. The board flips over, if I remember. So there's 2 different sides, kind of layouts to the board. And so there's spots on one of the sides of the board that do things. The other one's just basically a straight race. But it's just a race to the end, and you get points depending on whether you finish first, second, third, fourth. And it's just kind of wacky fun. I mean, it's all a crapshoot. You're rolling a die, so it's roll and move around the board, but then you're just randomly triggering these crazy powers that shoot people off and send them ahead, send them backwards, bump you ahead, trap people so they miss their next turn. So it's just all those tropes. But Tom Vassell loves this game, and it's just for the wacky fun. It's the asymmetry in the characters, the weird things that they do. But yeah, we played, I think I want to say 3 different times. One time was just at the end after we had set everything up for Sobo, had all the tables and everything done. They were trying to kick us out, and I think it was Mitchell was like, "Hey, let's just play a quick game." 3 of us sat down and we played it in 15 minutes. Taught it, played it, done 15 minutes. So a lot of wacky, zany fun.
If you had a navel gaze on this award here, who's gonna take it? If one of those 2 takes it, which would it be?
Gosh, I'm going to say Hot Streak because of the Hot Streak's got the cooler, heavy plastic characters. It's a new game. Magical Athlete's been out, so this is a redo of an older game. So people kind of who have played it before know whether they like it or not. And Hot Streak has that whole, you got a little more control. You're gambling, you're choosing. You see what the odds are of different things happening. You're choosing your bets based on the cards that are in the deck, even though there is some randomness there with what other people are going to seed in there and mess with things. But Magical Athletes just completely roll, move, crazy. Anything could happen. So I think just because it's a little more strategic, I would go with Hot Streak probably.
We'll be watching to see how this one ends up. Now, this one, I know that before the show started, we were in the green room talking, and Rob just couldn't stop talking about how he wishes this would happen. And guess what, Rob? It's happening. Flip 7 Deluxe. Like you kept talking about how much that needed to happen. Like, how can we live on this earth without a deluxe copy of Flip 7?
Nope.
It's
happening. Comes with a score pad and foil cards. And that's literally the only thing that makes it deluxe. Is
and
all
the cards
are
3 times as much.
Yeah,
it's
all the cards are foil,
and
it's got a scorecard. $17.99
retail for $17.95.
So almost 3 times the cost, right? Because you can get Flip 7 for like $7-8 now, right?
Yeah. I'm still mad that they changed the size of the cards between editions, and then also in this Flip 7 Vengeance, they literally have Vengeance, so you can't mix the cards together. Jackasses.
And this next one is a trademarked activity. No others can do this, but this is when you take the game that's already out there with expansions and you call it Essentials and you put it out again. So Euphoria Essential Edition is back out.
I don't know. So I have not played Euphoria.
We need to play.
I got invited to a game this Saturday. Michael Fortino is playing it. He's already at 5.
Yeah, he posted in chat that it's his favorite worker placement game.
I brought this up. It's like, oh, that new Euphoria Essentials box. And, Michael Fortino owns a game shop. And he's like, oh, because he's got copies of Euphoria still on the shelf. So now with this new box set coming out that will include, because it's Essentials, includes the expansion built in,
right.
How will he ever sell the 2 or 3 copies of Euphoria that are currently on the shelf?
Discount. Sell them a discount. Right.
I didn't think about that. That's got to be tough for retailers who are holding on to the base set. The expansions have been out of print, so it's not like he can get those. But they put the expansions in the retail box and then sell it as a whole new product, a whole new SKU.
Now he is giving if you own the base game and the expansions or own the base game, you can buy just an upgrade pack, which will include
okay.
Yes, there is an upgrade.
Right. Yep. I saw that. It's just
where
the board,
you can buy the new board and a couple of things. So like basically
I do have the OG.
Yeah, the biggest change I think in this game is it includes the expansion, and then the board is changed. It has a dual-sided board.
Two-sided, yeah.
Two-sided. One side is just very whitish, muted colors, easier to teach. And the layout of the board, I think, is his point was that the game was hard to teach because the board wasn't intuitive.
Yes.
So this newer board is much more intuitive. So you
look at that. The regions, instead of being themey, right, with the sky one in the sky and the underground one underground, they just blocked them out.
And that looks like the white side of the board, which is the easiest side. And then there's another side that has it's still also the better graphic design, but more colorful.
So this is more like the smartphone ink side. Like this is easy to tell what's going on. And then of course here's the themey side.
Right. But still better layout, apparently, he said.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to hopefully hear from Michael and friends. Patrick, I think, is playing as well. Nice. They're going to get Euphoria to the table. You're right. We do need to get it played, Wayne, since you haven't got it played.
Yeah, I'm thinking about picking it up if it's such a good game. Like, this and the other article about the expansion to
the deluxe version of Flip 7. Yeah, that one.
No, the Finspan.
Oh, that one.
That one.
The Sharks and Reefs expansion.
There's going to be pretty fish.
Donna.
He's putting reef fish in there. That's those pretty ones.
Oh, so now we're going to get some pretty fish?
Now we're getting pretty fish.
Okay, now I might be in, because that blobfish was horribly ugly.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how many people want Euphoria upgrade pack in Finspan. So I'm sure
I think I'd be down for Euphoria upgrade pack. I didn't know that was a thing.
Do you have the expansions to Euphoria, though?
I don't. So
that might be the
would
issue,
it be better just to get the essentials?
Maybe.
You might be right, because I don't have the expansions. I wonder if I could sell my copy.
$10,
probably
$20,
no.
$15. I'm sure someone will buy it for $10 or $15.
Finspan, Sharks and Reefs adds to a variety of the core game with a focus on sharks and fish that live among coral reefs. This expansion introduces a new coral reef habitats to your ocean mat and more incredible sharks with fearsome new abilities.
Yep. Sharks are going to scare the fish. So you can place a shark and all the fish scatter. And so that'll help them maybe pull up into groups in other areas.
Which I found that to be hard, that putting of the schools together.
Yep.
Because they couldn't cross each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be a good way to do that. And I think so what he described is This expansion actually is a little bit bigger of an expansion box than maybe the Wingspan Americas, and they're including a bigger storage tray. And his goal is to not have a big box, not have a nesting box or a wine crate for Finspan. That Finspan will always live in the main box, and so he's giving you a bigger storage solution. Because I think maybe they only are planning one more expansion. It sounds like to Finspan, and then at that point, they know that there's some overlays. There's an overlay in this game that'll overlay over the game board, and they're not going to do a big mat thing until the next expansion because they have another overlay, and they're just going to print new mats at that point. But so yeah, this was cool. I mean, I like Finspan, so this will be it. This is an insta buy for me because it'll just go in if it all stores in the base box. Might as well.
Looking at this box, it reminds me of the Wingspan Americas box, which is
kind
of that disposable box.
It's disposable, but it's a little bit bigger than the Americas one because it has a bigger storage tray.
Yeah,
but this is nice because you know that you can. It looks as though you can just fit this in to the main.
It goes in the main box and toss it out.
It has some extra room for the next expansion already. So yep.
This next one is not going on my buy list. I need to see it played and reviewed. This is the news that Horrified Dungeons and Dragons is going to go into the dark realm of Ravenloft. I am for the Ravenloft theme. I have Castle Ravenloft, the dungeon crawler from Wizards of the Coast, their dungeon crawler minis game, and it's a great one my family likes. But man, the reviews for Horrified Dungeons and Dragons were so meh, and our buddy Ron Fraser had called in to talk about it, and it really was just meh. I'm hoping that they change something here to really drive the desire to get back to Horrified.
I haven't.
Guys got nothing to say about that.
I haven't played any of the expansions yet, so I haven't dove into the whole world. I've played the regular, very first one that came out, the base Horrified, 2 or 3 times, but it's been a long time, and I own American Monsters, I think. And I just haven't gotten it out yet. So I don't know. I didn't love Horrified. It is a welcoming game. I think it is a game that you can, being cooperative, you can bring new people, new gamers into it. I just haven't either taught new gamers recently enough or just haven't had the opportunity to bring this particular game out. There's been other games, welcoming games that I've usually grabbed off the shelf to teach new gamers. So I don't know.
Yeah. I think this is the point where there's too many versions of this game, so it's like, where do you jump in?
And diminishing returns. Like I feel like each one has gotten less good than the first. The first one, like, oh man, these are awesome! I can't wait to see more. And then just like the rules and it just All Play reveals River Valley Jewelcraft, a new board game coming to Kickstarter. River Valley was hot. It was
River Valley Glassworks. Yeah, it just it goes to like these anthropomorphic animals in a universe. You have Flamecraft, and you have the KTGB with the Maple Valley and Creature Comforts, and now you have River Valley. It's like every game company is trying to create these games that are in the same universe, and they're all the cute little fuzzy animals. So.
And then finally, last article we have is Board Game Wire, Critter Kitchen. These are the same folks that did Flamecraft, so it's very similar in artwork. High IQ Society Mensa reveals its top board games after annual 4-day judging marathon.
Yep, scroll down a little bit more, you'll get the list.
And
keep going.
Into the bottom.
Keep going, right there. So that's this year's Mensa Select winners.
A Place for All My Books, that super cozy game by Alex Cutler and Michael Mihalisic. Critter Kitchen, Alex Cutler again, with Peter Haywood. Fromage, which is the cheese version, right?
Yep. Well, they're all cheese. It's just this is the Italian. This is the French version, and there's Formaggio, which is the French version, the Italian version.
Italian, yep.
Galileo Galilei, our friend from SETI. We say friend, but designer of SETI. Got 5, Johan Levitt from Blue Orange Games. Things and Rings and Twinkle Twinkle were among the winners for Mensa Select.
What's interesting is that at least Mensa is now choosing some more complex games. Like for a lot of years, it was like because the judging was so quick, it ended up being these very small abstract games that won the Mensa title. But I found it interesting that like you have Fromage and Galileo Galilei in there, and then you have a bunch of other still lighter games because Twinkle Twinkle, Things in Rings, Critter Kitchen, they're all pretty simple games. So,
and I don't know, Twinkle Twinkle just didn't do it for me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy it. I played it once at Dice Terrace last year, and I really liked it. And then I didn't buy it, and now it's been on BGA, and I played it a number of times on BGA, and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy this game. It's fun, but I don't need to own it.
Correct. So I'm surprised to see it on there.
Yeah,
it's okay.
As the kids would say, it's mid.
Ohio, I think the kids call it
mid. Yeah.
It's time for that OGG, that other geeky goodness. This is where we talk to you about other geeky stuff that we've been doing. Wayne, you've got a lot on this list. I'm gonna let you.
I've talked about them a bunch. I can go through them really quick. I mean, I've talked about The Invincible and The Boys, which they're just fantastic. Watching through it, this season of Invincible is really good. The Boys is also. I'm 2 or 3 episodes in. I think I'm 1 or 2 behind now, but fantastic. On Rob's advice, I started watching Mall, which is really good. It's fully enjoying that. I think I'm an episode behind on that now too, because this past weekend I've hung out with my brother and did a whole bunch of soccer stuff this weekend, so it's kind of fun. We just finished the second season of The Pit. Oh
wow!
And it's phenomenal. Like it's the best drama, and it highlights the plight of healthcare workers in inner cities and just emergency rooms having to deal with people on their worst day and some of the abuse that they get as healthcare workers.
I've watched a couple more. It's good. Yeah, we're up to, I think we watched the first 5 now of season 1. So yeah, it's good.
So good.
Yeah.
And it just I'm thinking back to me watching the first season. I'm like, every episode just was more heart-wrenching than the next, and it was like, oh god, really? Yeah. And so it just gets better and better and better. And season 2 is probably as good. They didn't, and what I do appreciate is a lot of these shows, like they have this first season, and then second season has to up the first season. And the third season has to up that. This second season was good. It was even keeled. There wasn't any. First season there was a couple of crazy episodes. Rob hasn't quite gotten to all of them yet, but there's a couple of crazy episodes in season 1 where you're like, holy cow. They didn't go as crazy in the second season, and I kind of appreciate that, because it's really just, it's a day in the life of an ER. And so sometimes you're going to have craziness, sometimes you're not going to have craziness, and not every season has to just outdo the next. And I felt they spent more time in season 2 on more interpersonal relationships and more about the trauma that healthcare workers get working in an ER, working in that fast-paced environment. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And then I'm still just watching One Piece. I think I'm 4 or 5 episodes now into the first season and kind of enjoying it. It's just a fun watch, kind of crazy. So those, I'm gonna run through them quick, and I've talked about a bunch of them in the past. So hopefully I'll get some new OGG next week. Netflix just released the cartoon for Stranger Things, Tales from.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Haven't watched it yet, but yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. I just added it to my watch list. So yeah, Tales from 1985 is on my list to watch this next week. So yep. There's my OGG.
I'm glad to see that they're not going the route of the TV show 911, where now there's like a meteor shower and they're, oh no, there's a meteor shower. Call in for backup. And they're sending people to space.
And now there's a swarm of bees.
Yes, it's like they're having to just kind of go crazier and crazier.
Yeah, I hate that, but so it's good. But The Pit, highly recommend it. Carlos, I think you'll enjoy it.
I will. Right now, I'm currently subscribed to I think Fox, because NASCAR and IndyCar are both on Fox now.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not a cheap sub. So once I get past the race season, I'll be able to transfer to a different sub.
And I'm gonna switch. We're gonna probably switch from Netflix to Apple this summer, because you've got For All Mankind and Foundation and Ted Lasso season 4 and a bunch of that stuff. So we'll switch to Apple probably later this summer.
We did pick up Apple because of F1. We used to buy the F1 racing subscription for me and the boys, but they moved to the Apple product.
Oh,
so that's been cool, because I've had access to Apple.
Ted Lasso.
I need to try that one.
You do.
I'm still trying to finish The Office. So I'm like in season 4, I think. Season 4 or
But
5.
now that you have Apple, you're a space guy and you're all about SETI and Shackleton Base. You have to watch For All Mankind.
And that's yes. The answer is yes. I will.
Yes.
I'm going to get that on the list. What I have been doing though is just on this tear of PHM, of Project Hail Mary. Like I've just been consuming every YouTube video that I can that tries to debunk the science or talks about the science. There was an hour-long video. I think I shared it on the Discord of Andy Weir talking with Neil deGrasse Tyson for an hour. I mean, it was so cool to watch them geek out into the whole, like how he created the character and created the science for it. It's been so much fun. Still listening through the audio book all over again and just being reminded as to how much stuff was left behind, left on the table because they couldn't put it in. One of the examples that I thought of today, Rob, or that I listened to today in today's listening of it, was they blew up the ice shelf in Antarctica. They, in order to release as much greenhouse gases as possible to try to extend human life long enough for Hail Mary to go do its thing and come back. Ooh. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest thing I saw this week was talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he says the Hail Mary is the ship. Dr. Grace is the main character, and how he said the Hail Mary is full of grace. Like, bro, that's punny. That is punny.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's where I've been spending my time is audiobooks and geeking out on more Project Hail Mary.
Cool.
Rob?
My only one to throw out there, the new stuff I've been watching, episode here, episode there of different things, but I don't think I've talked about before, but sticking with emergency rooms and medical stuff. I won't call it drama, but Scrubs. Me and the family were big fans of the original Scrubs when it was on. It's one of those we'd catch every week when it came on. We'd be in front of the TV waiting for it to come so we could watch it. And so now they've got the reset of it here, the redo, all the original characters except for there was a couple that have passed away. But other than that, they pretty much brought back everybody from the old show, and it's well done. I mean, they've all aged, you can tell, and this is not going to be a long run. My assumption would be maybe one season or two, and they'll be done with it. But same brand of humor, same comedy. So we are really enjoying the redo of Scrubs.
I only watch Scrubs periodically. My wife was a huge Scrubs person, and she's enjoying the new season.
Yeah. Did they explain how these folks are still in the same job after 10 years?
They did a little bit because they kind of tell the very first episode, the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes is kind of telling what's happened to them in the last 7, 8, 9 years. Yeah, it obviously in the show, but it describes where they've been. A couple of them went away and came back. A couple of them have been at the hospital the whole time. So yeah, it touches on all that.
It's I don't know. It's the nostalgia that hits me. I know that Steven Spielberg just kind of went on a little bit of a rant with his new film, the one you were telling us about, Disclosure Day.
Oh, Disclosure Day. Yeah,
he went on a little rant about how the industry needs to get away from just doing the next iteration of the same property. Like people need to come up with new stuff. But then you hear like Scrubs coming back and Malcolm in the Middle coming back, and it's like that nostalgia kind of hit. Like I'm okay with that little bit of a dopamine, like as long as you don't ruin it. Like
it's just fun. Yeah, again, they haven't changed up too much, so it's the same old show. So it's good. It's good fun.
Glad to hear it. There's a recommendation from Rob. Well, that wraps up our episode. Another great episode. I want to thank all the callers. We got to 4 tonight. We had double-digit viewers for the evening. That shows that
all our backlog of news articles, and
I know that was nice to get that off. That's why I kept going. I'm like, we're gonna get through these news articles before they get too aged. They're starting to get old and smelly. Lots of comments in the chats. Castle Panic. Wayne, you had brought that up. We were talking about games for younger folks. My first Castle Panic. I think I need to get a hold of that one. I like Castle Panic. But that's it. That's it for this week. What do we do? Every Thursday, we get together. We talk to you about board games. We talk about what you've been up to. When you call in, you're the host for the week. Next week is the 5th Thursday of the month, which, I was expecting for the next top 10 or top 20 episode. But no, we have another Thursday in April. So that's just more chances for you to call in. Wayne is keeping track. He's got a spreadsheet. You know how much he loves his Excel.
A spreadsheet. Don't you put that on me, Rich Bobby.
He's got a ticky sheet. He's writing down every caller because we're going to give away board games in the first week of May. When we do our top 20 episode, we're going to give away board games to callers. So make sure you call in next week. Help us break some records. Anything else for the folks at home? Last words.
Hopefully we get some. If next week there's pre-show gaming Euphoria.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Next week, hopefully I'll be feeling much better. Be a little more active here. My voice is straining. So
yeah, you had mentioned not feeling well, and I didn't realize you were being real. Like you sound like
yeah,
it was. And you troopered it out, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
he was about to bring that to my house, though. He was trying to set up a game of Shackleton Base tonight at my house.
It would have been worth it for all of us.
My whole family getting sick. Yeah. Totally worth it. Folks, I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Wayne.
And we've been the Beansanddice Podcast Thursday Night Live call-in show. Thank you for watching. God bless. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Shut that Rob up.